Chapter 313. Qin Yu initially wanted to teleport as far as he could, but who would have thought that he would be able to teleport to the Qianlong continent? Shuo Yan, come out. Qin Yu quickly summoned Shuo Yan. In terms of understanding of teleportation, Shuo Yan was indeed much better than Qin Yu. Shuo Yan, tell me, how far can you teleport? Is it possible to go directly from Yellowstone to Purple Mystic Star? As soon as Shuo Yan came out, Qin Yu immediately asked. Shuo Yan was stunned. Go directly from Yellowstone to Purple Mystic Star? Is that still called teleportation? Master, don't joke around. How can teleportation be that far? To teleport from Yellowstone to Purple Mystic Star, even if you know the route, it would take at least 100 times. Shuo Yan said with absolute certainty. Suddenly Shuo Yan looked around. Her whole body was stunned. This, Master, this should be Purple Mystic Star, right? Shuo Yan couldn't believe what she was seeing, but the surrounding trees and houses, as well as the ice lion Shurexin, who wanted to speak but was silenced by Qin Yu's glare. All of this explained that this was Purple Mystic Star. Shuo Yan remembered very clearly that her master had summoned her to ask about teleportation, and in the blink of an eye, they were already on Purple Mystic Star. This was too fast. This is Purple Mystic Star. Shuo Yan, listen carefully. Just now I used the method you described to teleport, but in the blink of an eye, I arrived on Purple Mystic Star's Qianlong continent. Qin Yu looked at Shuo Yan. Tell me, what is going on? Shuo Yan looked at Qin Yu with some sluggishness. Master, you said you went directly from Yellowstone to Purple Mystic Star? Shuo Yan couldn't believe it. Qin Yu nodded again. Master, that was greater teleportation. It was definitely greater teleportation. If it was just teleportation, how could it be so far? But with your skill, how could it be greater teleportation? Shuo Yan couldn't accept it. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Greater teleportation. As far as I know, greater teleportation is a divine ability that only golden immortals and above can use. Tell me, what are the main requirements to use greater teleportation? Shuo Yan replied before continuing in detail. Before I talk about greater teleportation, I will first tell Master about the fundamental reason behind the teleportation and greater teleportation. What determines whether a person can teleport or not is the realm of his soul. Soul realm? Qin Yu asked. Shuo Yan nodded. Yes, in order to teleport, one's soul must be at least at the immortal, demon or demon level. As for greater void transference, one's soul has to reach the level of a golden immortal, demon king or Yao king. But my soul state has yet to reach the level of a golden immortal. Qin Yu was puzzled. I don't know. Shuo Yan was also helpless. Qin Yu racked his brains for a moment but still couldn't figure out how he could use the greater teleportation. In the end, he could only helplessly let Shuo Yan return to the Atlas. In fact, what Qin Yu didn't know was that this was the effect of the Lu Xing's tear. Lu Xing's tear allowed Qin Yu to easily and completely control the power of the soul. At the same time, it allowed Qin Yu's soul to have a high degree of compatibility with the heavens and earth. Whether it was teleportation or greater void transference, it all depended on the degree of compatibility with the heavens and earth. If one could reach a level where the heavens and earth were indistinguishable from each other, then one could instantly reach any place in the universe. Lu Xing's tear allowed Qin Yu's soul to have a higher degree of compatibility with the heavens and earth. This allowed Qin Yu to use the greater void transference. Times, Master? Shurexin quietly called out. Oh Shurexin. Qin Yu recovered from his deep thoughts. No matter how smart Qin Yu was, he didn't know that Lu Xing's tear not only had a super strong recovery ability and nourishing the body and soul, it also allowed Qin Yu's soul to integrate with the heavens and earth more easily. When Qin Yu merged with the heavens and earth, he thought that he had already reached that level of compatibility. Master, you've already made a breakthrough. Are you going to ascend? Shurexin tried hard to suppress the excitement in his heart. In Shurexin's opinion, Qin Yu should be about to ascend when he came out of seclusion. Qin Yu nodded and said, Soon. There are still 3 months left. Great, I can finally ascend. I finally have this day. Shur-Exion's entire body trembled with excitement. His eyes began to turn red and moist. Qin Yu looked at Shur-Exion and only smiled. He knew how Shur-Exion was feeling. Shur-Exion and his brothers had long reached the Dashang stage. If not for the fact that their masters, Qin Yu and his brothers, had not ascended, they would have ascended long ago. Shur-Exion's two brothers, Shur-Bing and Shur-Zhan, had ascended over 100 years ago because they were the spiritual beasts of Ho Fei and Kuro. In these 100 years, Shur-Exion often missed his brothers. And now, he was finally able to ascend together with Qin Yu. I've implicated you. Qin Yu also felt a bit guilty towards Shur-Exion. If he did not cultivate bitterly for 100 years before ascending, how could Shur-Exion be trapped in the mortal world and not be able to ascend? No, Master, I'm already very excited that you can ascend. Master, your father often wants to see you. You've come back and not seen him. Shur-Exion said. Qin Yu nodded. Father. This time, didn't he come back for his family? Qin Yu's immortal sense, temporarily called immortal sense. After all, Qin Yu does not belong to the side of immortals, demons and monsters, spread out in all directions. In a moment, Qin Yu's spiritual sense covered the 3 dynasties of the Qianlong continent. His father and Fenjiuzi are actually at the top of Mount Donglan. His big brother and second brother are resting in a temporary palace at the edge of the wilderness. In these 100 years, his father's power has also reached the early Dongshu stage. Qin Yu's figure moves and disappears. Times on top of Mount Donglan. The mountain wind blows. Qin De and Fenjiuzi are playing chess in the wind. For these 2 Dongshu stage experts, the wind is nothing. The 2 of them have been playing chess for 13 whole days. Qin De and Fenjiuzi play chess relatively slowly. Especially towards the end, sometimes they only play 1 chess piece after half a day. Father, Uncle Feng. The mountain wind blows strongly. Qin Yu's voice also blows into the 2 Fenjiuzi's ears like the mountain wind. Qin De and Fenjiuzi can ignore the mountain wind, but that voice that floats into their ears makes them tremble. Qin De suddenly stands up and turns around to look not far away. As soon as he takes a look, his whole body starts to tremble. The chess piece in his hand also falls down on the chessboard without him noticing. The mountain wind blows. Qin Yu's long hair flutters and his robe billows. But his eyes are so similar to those of a child. There is still a trace of attachment. You finally come back. Qin De's voice trembles. His eyes cannot help reddening. Yes, I've come back. Qin Yu nods. Fenjiuzi's voice rises. There is excitement in his voice. Come, Xiao Yu. Quickly sit down next to your father and Uncle Feng. Come quickly. As he is saying, Fenjiuzi hurriedly beckons with his hands. Yes. In front of the elders, Qin Yu is like an obedient child. He sits down next to his father and Uncle Feng. Where have you been practicing for the past 100 years? I've tried everything but I still haven't been able to find you. Qin De asks. The Yellowstone Star. Qin Yu says with a faint smile. The Yellowstone Star. You mean, on another star? Qin De is slightly startled. Even Fenjiuzi is stunned for a moment. Then Qin De laughs. I can't see through anything about you anymore. The Yellowstone Star, another star. I'm afraid even those loose immortals wouldn't dare to leave our star. Qin Yu nods. Even Reverend Ming Liang and the others wouldn't dare to leave the purple mystic star. After all, getting lost in the universe is an extremely terrifying thing. Unless they have the greater teleportation ability, they can easily enter a planet with people. Brother Feng, in my life, I'm most proud to have such a son. Qin De's face is full of pride. This is the expression of a father who is proud of his son. Fenjiuzi nods. Brother Qin De, I remember when Xiao Yu was young, you didn't think he would become a genius and didn't care much about him. Hearing this, Qin Yu can't help but think back to those days. That year, that child in the cold wind of the mountain peak, looked up at the starry sky and watched the stars in the night sky. That year, that child gritted his teeth and cultivated bitterly. His sweat sprinkled on the mountain path of Mount Donglon until he became an adult. Swimming in the lake, running with weights, flexibility training, digging his palms into the white sand. One scene after another appears in his mind. In the blink of an eye, more than 200 years have passed, but the memories are still so vivid. Qin Yu looks at his father. Everything he had done back then was to earn his father's praise. Qin De laughs self-mockingly. Yes, when I knew you couldn't cultivate and wasn't interested in politics, I gave up on him long ago. Who would have thought? You would become the first Xiantian external expert in the history of the Hidden Dragon continent. Not long after that, he stepped into the ranks of cultivators. Qin De sighs. Everything is like a dream. I didn't care about my third son, but he shocked me again and again. That time when more than 10,000 cultivators appeared at the same time, knelt down in front of me and shouted, "Greetings, Pavilion Master." I was stupefied. As my cultivation deepened, I learned a lot of things I didn't know in the past. Those formidable loose immortals came into my field of vision. Facing those loose immortals, our Qin clan had no power to resist. And those two protectors, they were unexpectedly divine beasts of the loose demon level. They were even Yu's spiritual beasts. Qin De smiles, then looks at Qin Yu. I really can't believe that I could have such a son. Father is proud of his son. Hearing these words, Qin Yu feels a surge of emotion in his heart. More than 100 years ago, 10 years after you had been in closed-door training, Zhongju appeared. He helped us kill Yu Liang and in the end he ascended. He also told me that you were about to ascend too. All these years, I've been thinking, has you already ascended? Now I can set my mind at ease. At least I can still see you before you ascend. Qin De looks at his son with a gratified expression. With such a son, what regrets can he have in life? Father. Qin Yu's eyes turned slightly red. Because he knows that he will have to ascend in 3 months. Ascension is a restriction imposed by the laws of heaven and earth. He simply cannot escape it. Don't be like this. Be a man. Qin De pats Qin Yu's shoulder. Qin Yu takes a deep breath and tries his best to squeeze out a smile. But his eyes are still red. The period before his ascension is indeed very comfortable. Qin Yu is accompanying his father, his big brother and second brother, as well as many of the younger generation of the Qin clan. Qin Yu is unexpectedly also from the generation of Qin De's great-grandfather. After all, in terms of years of cultivation, he has already been cultivating for more than 200 years. I didn't expect that in a short 30 years, the Qin dynasty would decline to this extent. On the eve of his ascension, Qin Yu is chatting with his 2 brothers and his father. Speaking of the decline of the Qin dynasty, Qin Yu cannot help but sigh endlessly. Little Yu, don't worry about it. Whether a dynasty succeeds or fails, we can only let nature take its course. Moreover, it is almost impossible to let a dynasty flourish forever. Even though our Qin clan's latent power is extremely strong in the whole Qianlong continent, and even in the north of the chaotic astral ocean, a dynasty that cannot last for too long will not last forever. However, a dynasty maintained by force cannot last long. Moreover, it would also implicate the common people. Qin Zheng said indifferently. Qin Zheng has the ability to manage the country well, but it has been passed down from one emperor to another. Every emperor of the Qin dynasty has real power. Even when the last generation declined, Qin Zheng and the countless seniors of the Qin clan did not do anything. Because these seniors all understand that becoming the most powerful clan in the Qianlong continent will allow the Qin clan's descendants to concentrate more on cultivation. The way of the king. Nowadays, most of the Qin clan's descendants practice the way of the heaven and have stepped onto the path of cultivation. This is also good. Managing a country is indeed tiring. This is actually relaxing. Qin Yu takes a deep breath, then takes out a set of jade slips from his bosom and solemnly hands them over to his father. This is. Qin De takes the jade slips doubtfully. Qin Yu says solemnly. This is my practice method, the stellar transformations. The requirements for practicing the stellar transformations are very high. First of all, one must practice external techniques to the Xiantian level. Father, you can choose some people who are talented in external techniques to train. If someone reaches the Xiantian level in external techniques, he can also be a human. Please help me pass down this set of techniques. Qin Yu stands up and looks up at the starry sky. This set of techniques was created by my master, Lei Wei. There are 6 stages in total. The 7th stage was created by me and the 8th stage is the one I imagined. As for the later stages, if the successor of the stellar transformations can meet me in the future, I'll tell him. If he can't, he can only rely on his own ability. Qin Yu says indifferently. Qin De nods solemnly. Don't worry. I'll definitely help you pass down this set of techniques. Even if I can't find a successor in this lifetime, I'll ask the Qin clan to help me find one. Qin Yu's heart relaxes. What will the future be like? No one knows. Leaving behind the stellar transformation set of techniques can be considered as not ending this unprecedented set of techniques. In the dark night, the family waits for the dawn. Qin De, Qin Zheng, Qin Feng, Feng Yuzi, Su Yuan, and many other disciples of the Qin clan have come to the Misty Mountain Villa to look at the first senior of the Qin clan to ascend. Qin De looks at Qin Yu. Qin Zheng, Qin Feng, and the others all look at Qin Yu with reluctance. Rays of light shoot down from the sky, covering Qin Yu and Shurexin who is beside him. Gradually, in the golden light, Qin Yu and Shurexin slowly rise into the sky. Looking at his family below, Qin Yu's eyes redden. He suddenly turns his head to look at the sky. However, tears are rolling down his face and splattering on the ground below. Father, big brother, second brother, goodbye. Now I can only hope that we can meet again in the immortal devil and demon realm. Qin Yu says in his heart. 2 rays of golden light flashes. Qin Yu and Shurexin disappear in front of Qin De, Qin Zheng, Qin Feng, and the other disciples of the Qin clan. They all know that Qin Yu has left the mortal world and arrived in another world. Chapter 3:14. The immortal devil and demon realm was an enormous universe, almost endless. The entire universe was filled with an endless amount of elemental spirit energy. The elemental spirit energy was 1 level higher than the heaven and earth spirit energy of the mortal world. The entire immortal, devil and demon realm was divided into 4 major regions. The immortal realm was located in the east of the universe. The devil realm was located in the south of the universe. The demon realm was located in the west and north of the universe. In the northeast region there was a special power. At the same time, the immortal, devil and demon realms also had a mysterious region. These 4 regions were not very clearly separated. The places where they intersected were also tangled and complicated. The immortal and devil realms were connected by a large star field, the Indigo Bay star field. The Indigo Bay star field just happened to have 10 galaxies. The area of each of these 10 galaxies was incomparably vast. The number of planets in any one of these galaxies was innumerable. Of course, the number of planets with people was much less. Don't think that the lowest level in the immortal devil and demon realm was the immortal devil and demon realm. Because even in the immortal devil and demon realm, there were countless self-cultivators. These were the children of immortals and immortals in the beginning. However, these children became self-cultivators in the beginning, because the immortal devil and demon realm was filled with an endless amount of elemental spirit energy, under the nurturing of the elemental spirit energy. The babies born were usually at least at the Xiantian level. The self-cultivators of the mortal world were unable to absorb elemental spirit energy. However, the self-cultivators of the immortal devil and demon realm were different. Their ancestors were all immortals. Moreover, they absorbed elemental spirit energy from birth. They could absorb elemental spirit energy to cultivate. In the immortal devil and demon realm, most of the babies born were at the Xiantian level. Their aptitude was much better than the self-cultivators of the mortal world. Generally, they could become immortals after cultivating for 100 years. Compared to the mortal world's self-cultivators who needed to cultivate for thousands of years, it was simply not on the same level. Course. To become immortals so quickly. The foundation of the immortals who successfully cultivated in the immortal devil and demon realm was not as good as those who ascended from the mortal world. Times the Indigo Bay Starfield's Silver Stream Galaxy had thousands of self-cultivator planets. Maple Moon Star could only be considered as an upper-middle-class planet. There were tens of millions of self-cultivators, over 10,000 immortals, and only a few golden immortals. There were already so many heavenly immortals on a single planet. One could imagine how many heavenly immortals there were in the entire immortal, devil and demon realm. In the Indigo Bay Starfield where the immortal realm and the devil realm intersected, there was a cultivation planet called Maple Moon in the Silver Stream Galaxy. On the outskirts of Lu Feng City, one of the 3 major cities on Amber Moon, beside a lake. A blue-clothed youth in his 20s was kneeling beside the lake, tears streaming down his face. Mother, after so many years of cultivation, I'm already 25 years old, but I'm still in the gene dance stage. Other than me, the oldest gene dan cultivator in the clan is only 16 years old. The blue-clothed youth's face was filled with resentment. His aptitude was so poor that it could be said to be unprecedented in the clan. I've been training very hard. But no matter how hard I train, it's useless. It's all useless. The blue-clothed youth smashed his fist on the ground. Without low-grade elemental holy ore, how long will it take for me to reach the Yuanying stage? My only chance was to fall behind the 100th place in the clan competition. The blue-clothed youth's face was filled with helplessness. The competition within the clan was between the disciples of the same generation. Other than him, the other disciples of his generation were all in the Yuanying stage. If he wasn't at the bottom, who would be? I'm weak, and I'm always at the bottom in the competition. The clan didn't even give me a single low-grade elemental holy ore. As for those who are strong, the clan treats them as elite disciples and gives them low-grade elemental holy ore. Like this, I don't have any elemental holy ore. My strength is getting worse and worse, while their strength is getting stronger and stronger. The gap between us is getting bigger and bigger. This burden is getting heavier and heavier. With each passing year, the gap is getting bigger and bigger. I'm getting less and less confident. I really can't hold on anymore. The blue-clothed youth's eyes were filled with tears. I'm respectful to the seniors in the clan, and I train so hard. But it's useless. I don't have any strength. I'm useless. If this goes on, I'll never become an elite disciple of the clan. I'll always be at the bottom. The blue-clothed youth's whole body was trembling. Father is so strict with me, but have no choice. Every day I spend more than half of my time training. But my talent is too poor, far inferior to others. My meridians are so weak. When will I be able to turn things around? The blue-clothed youth's face was bleak. Lu Honshu, the surname Lu, is a big surname. It's a glorious surname, but it gives me endless pressure. My heart is tired and I can't take it anymore. The blue-clothed youth was Lu Honshu. Lu clan, one of the 3 great clans of Maple Moon. The Lu clan had been operating for tens of thousands of years. Naturally, there were many disciples in the clan, and the competition within the clan was fierce. And Lu Honshu was the weakest among his peers. Most newborns were in the Xiantian stage. With normal talent, they could enter the Jindan stage at the age of 5 or 6, and enter the Yuanying stage at the age of 10. But Lu Honshu was already 25 years old, and he was still in the Jindan stage. Moreover, he was in the middle stage of the Jindan stage. His talent was poor, needless to say. Father's talent is poor, so he is very respectful to others. Once, there was a sky immortal expert who helped Father open up his meridians and dantian, allowing Father to catch up with the average person. Now he has reached the Dongshu stage. But I am also very respectful to others, but I have never met a noble. Father said that if I meet a master, I must bow and salute, and say some words of praise. But bowing my whole life, that kind of compromise, I can't stand it. Lu Honshu laughed at himself. Mother, I have no talent, no strength, no wealth, and I still want to stand upright. Am I dreaming? Lu Honshu smiled bleakly. Lu Honshu had been too tired these years. As an adult, he was in the Jindan stage. Walking on the street, he was looked down upon. Even a 12 or 13-year-old child could easily defeat him in the Yuanying stage. Looked down upon by others, looked down upon by the clan, reprimanded by his father, looked down upon by his peers in the clan. This kind of life was driving Lu Honshu crazy. He also wanted to be respected, he also wanted to be praised, he also wanted to have a warm family. But this was a world of competition, a world where the strong were respected. He was weak. It was not that he didn't work hard, he worked harder than most people, but his talent was too poor. Whenever he couldn't bear it anymore, he would come to this lake. Because his mother was killed by a Kongming stage cultivator near this lake. His mother was very strong, she reached the Kongming stage in her 30s. If his mother was still alive, he might live a better life. But that was just a fantasy. Life is still going on, I also have to go back. The amber moon star was only so big. Where could he hide that the self-cultivators couldn't find him? I can only face reality and go back to practice seriously. Lu Honshu stood up with a bitter smile. If Lu Honshu really went back as usual, he would have to practice hard all his life, and live at the bottom of the amber moon. However, this time was different from the previous times. Lu Honshu had already turned around and was ready to go back. Hey, little brother! Voice called out. Lu Honshu belonged to the bottom of the amber moon. When he heard someone call him, how could he not listen? Lu Honshu immediately turned around. His expression changed from bleak to respectful and friendly. This was the way to live a good life and not be humiliated by those with high skills. Lu Honshu looked carefully at the person who came. In the air, a figure appeared in front of Lu Honshu. So fast, at least a Kongming stage master. Lu Honshu had lived for many years. His eyesight was still good. The person who had arrived was dressed in black clothes. His long robe was fluttering in the wind, and his messy hair was fluttering in the wind. Those cold eyes seemed to be able to see through people's hearts. The person who came was Qin Yu. When Qin Yu and Shi Xian ascended together, he thought that since they ascended together, they would ascend to the same place. Who would have thought that when Qin Yu found out where he was, he couldn't find Shi Xian at all. Even with this soul connection, he could only sense that Shi Xian was far away in the west. Far away. Qin Yu couldn't even imagine what kind of distance it was. Obviously, Shi Xian ascended to the demon realm, and Qin Yu came to this planet. Junior Lu Honshu greets Senior. Lu Honshu said respectfully. Qin Yu looked at Lu Honshu and nodded. Using his immortal sense, Qin Yu found that Lu Honshu was at the middle stage of Jindan, but his meridians were unusually thin and weak. With such thin meridians, you can reach the Jindan stage? Qin Yu was shocked. If in the mortal world with such thin meridians, it would be impossible to reach the Xiantian stage. Not to mention reaching the Jindan stage. But Qin Yu's perspective was wrong. He forgot that mortal practitioners couldn't compare with the practitioners of the immortal devil and demon realm, because the practitioners of the immortal devil and demon realm practiced elemental spiritual energy. How old are you this year? Qin Yu asked. He wanted to know how long it would take for someone with such thin and weak meridians to reach the Jindan stage. Lu Honshu's face showed a trace of a bitter smile. 25 years old, middle stage of Jindan. This was indeed a very shameful matter. Junior is 25 years old this year. Junior's aptitude is too poor. It took me so long to reach this level of strength. Lu Honshu replied respectfully. He didn't dare to not answer Qin Yu's question. Qin Yu was surprised. 25 years old. With such aptitude, You reached the middle stage of Jin Dan at 25 years old. You didn't lie to me? Qin Yu was shocked. In the Qianlong continent, the average practitioner needed several decades to reach the middle stage of Jin Dan, and 100 years to reach the middle stage of Jin Dan. To reach this stage at 25 years old, he was indeed a genius. Even Qin Yu only reached the nebula stage when he was 20 years old. Junior really didn't lie to Senior. I wouldn't lie about such a shameful matter. Lu Honshu felt helpless, but he also felt that Qin Yu was different from the experts of the past. Most of the experts of the past were incomparably arrogant, but Qin Yu treated him with a smile. Shameful. Qin Yu was stunned. Although before Qin Yu came to the immortal devil and demon realms, he only paid attention to the information regarding the immortal devil and demon realms. He also paid attention to the general geographical knowledge and so on. Regarding the immortal devil and demon realms cultivators, why would Qin Yu care? He didn't know that the immortal devil and demon realms cultivators were special. Seeing Qin Yu's shocked expression, Lu Honshu laughed at himself. Generally, 5 or 6-year-old children can reach the Jin Dan stage, 10 or 11-year-old children can reach the Yuanying stage, and 20-year-old people can reach the Dongshu stage. I am 20-year-old and only at the Jin Dan stage. If not shameful, who would? Qin Yu was shocked when he heard all this. 5 or 6-year-old Jin Dan stage. Average. He was almost 20 years old and reached the nebula stage, and was worshipped by countless of the Qin clan's younger generation. If this achievement was brought to the immortal devil and demon realms, wouldn't it be shameful? Shi Yan, how can the immortal devil and demon realms cultivators cultivate so fast? Qin Yu asked Shuo Yan from the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts. Shuo Yan from the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts began to explain to Qin Yu in detail about the immortal devil and demon realms. Although the two spoke a lot, but in reality, it was only a blink of an eye. So that's how it is. Qin Yu understood. In fact, Qin Yu also had some problems. He had a complete map of the entire immortal devil and demon realms. Generally, Golden Immortal, Demon King, Devil King, level experts would not leave their galaxy. At most, they would use the teleportation array to travel between planets. His own spirit beasts from the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts were only familiar with a few planets in the demon realm. He had no idea about the map of the immortal devil and demon realms. In the immortal devil and demon realms, without a map, interstellar travel was simply impossible. Lu Honshu, what planet is this? Which side of the immortal devil and demon realms does it belong to? Qin Yu inquired. Lu Honshu felt that Qin Yu's question was a little idiotic, but he still respectfully answered. Senior, this planet is called Amber Moon. It belongs to the Indigo Bay starfield, the Silver Stream Galaxy. This Indigo Bay starfield does not belong to the immortal realm nor the devil realm. It is a starfield that connects the immortal realm and the devil realm. In this starfield, there are planets controlled by experts from the immortal realm, and planets controlled by experts from the devil realm. As for Amber Moon, it is controlled by the immortal realm. Qin Yu understood in his heart. So, he had ascended to a place that did not belong to the immortal realm nor the devil realm. He had only opened the first layer of the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts. Those heavenly demon-level spirit beasts probably did not even know anything about the immortal realm or the devil realm. Not to mention this Amber Moon planet. In the immortal devil and demon realms, those below the Golden Immortal or Devil King level do not have the qualifications to travel between planets. For the time being, I will stay on this Amber Moon planet. I will wait until my power increases and I can open the second layer of the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts. Then I will set off. Qin Yu made up his mind. At this moment, Qin Yu also understood that this Lu Honshu should be at the bottom of this planet. Lu Honshu, I am not familiar with this Amber Moon planet. Can you lead the way? Here is a piece of middle-grade elemental holy rock as your reward. Qin Yu took out a piece of middle-grade elemental holy rock from the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Chapter 315. A piece of middle-grade elemental holy ore. To Qin Yu it was indeed nothing. The entire Qin Yu immortal mansion was made of elemental holy ore. Inside the mansion, there were many piles of elemental holy ore. Even high-grade elemental holy ore was plentiful. In the Qin Yu immortal mansion, one could casually pick up a piece of rock. If it wasn't an elemental holy ore, then it was an ore used to refine immortal tools. It was just that there was no top-grade elemental holy ore in the Qin Yu immortal mansion. Middle-grade elemental holy ore. Lead the way. Lu Honshu wondered if his ears were playing tricks on him. Even for a celestial immortal, a piece of middle-grade elemental holy ore was something to be treasured. A celestial immortal who had a good life might casually take out a middle-grade elemental holy ore. A celestial immortal who had a bad life might treat a middle-grade elemental holy ore as a treasure. Lead the way. A middle-grade elemental holy ore to lead the way. Lu Honshu looked at the middle-grade elemental holy ore in front of him. He felt as if the color of the whole world had changed. From the gray of the past, there was no hope. Could it be that you are unwilling? Qin Yu asked. Willing, of course this junior is willing. Lu Honshu's whole body was filled with energy. In more than 20 years, he had never been so excited. But Lu Honshu was not a careless person. Senior, leading the way is a small matter. It is not worth spending a middle-grade elemental holy ore. This junior is afraid to accept it. Lu Honshu respectfully said. Qin Yu smiled and said, If I ask you to accept it, then accept it. This is also my first time on Amber Moon. There are many things I am not familiar with. I still need you to explain it to me. Come, first take me to a place to stay. As he said that, Qin Yu threw the middle-grade elemental holy ore over to him. Lu Honshu took the middle-grade elemental holy ore and respectfully said, Senior, please follow this junior. But the hand holding the middle-grade elemental holy ore was trembling. Obviously he was very excited. Fortunately he had a storage bracelet. He put the middle-grade elemental holy ore into his storage bracelet and felt a little relieved. Lu Honshu immediately rode on a flying sword and began to fly beside him. Qin Yu was also flying beside him. Actually, Qin Yu's immortal awareness had already discovered the existence of a city in the distance. Merely, Qin Yu currently knew very little about the immortal, devil and demon realm. Thus, he decided to temporarily live in this city and familiarize himself with the matters of the immortal, devil and demon realm. And this Lu Honshu, who grew up on Amber Moon, could save him a lot of trouble. Moreover, Qin Yu also had the intention to help Honshu. Lu Feng City, one of the 3 largest cities in Amber Moon, occupied a vast area. At least when Qin Yu was in his hometown, he had never seen such a huge city. There were at least 10 million people in the city. Senior, this is Lu Feng City, one of the 3 major cities of Maple Moon. The 3 major cities of Maple Moon are Yanshan City, Wanglian City, and Lu Feng City. Honshu carefully introduced Lu Feng City to Qin Yu. Qin Yu nodded. Honshu, how are the experts in Amber Moon? Qin Yu inquired. Honshu thought for a moment and said, Experts. In Amber Moon, the lowest level is Sky Immortal. In the entire Amber Moon, there are at least tens of thousands of Sky Immortals. However, Golden Immortals are very rare. In the entire Amber Moon, there are only a few. Qin Yu's mouth curved into a smile. With Qin Yu's current strength, he could definitely crush the Amber Moon Star as he wished. Not to mention the level 9 Golden Immortal Sword Immortal Puppet, just Qin Yu himself. Complemented by the blazing profound ring, Sky Piercer, and black frozen snow. Qin Yu's strength was also extraordinary. Are there any Xian Immortals, or Immortal Emperor level experts? Qin Yu inquired. Immortal Emperor. Honshu gulped. Senior, that is a supreme level expert too far away from us. Even the patriarch of my clan has never seen an immortal emperor before. Qin Yu nodded. In his heart it seems. Immortal emperors were very rare. Lu Feng City's gate was very wide. Qin Yu followed Han Shu into the city. Upon entering the city gate, there was an extremely wide street with many people walking on it. Qin Yu swept a glance. The weakest children were Jin Dan's stage. Even the babies in the arms of the women were Xian Tian's stage. Hearing about it was one thing, but seeing it was another. This scene made Qin Yu gasp in amazement. The immortal devil and demon realm was different. Even the babies were Xian Tian's stage. At this moment, there were some manners on both sides of the street, and some large shops selling ores, weapons, talismans. Lu Honshu stood beside Qin Yu and explained everything. Senior, the quality of this weapon shop is in the top 3 in the whole Lufeng city, but the price is very expensive. The wine in that restaurant is really good, I have drunk it once. Honshu was proud of that time he was able to drink in that restaurant. Senior, that shop. After walking for an hour, Qin Yu finally had a general understanding of the immortal, devil and demon realm Xiuzhen cities. He also bought some good wine. The taste of the good wine here cannot be denied. It is indeed much better than the wine in the mortal realm. Senior, the owner of this Lufeng city is the Lu clan, one of the 3 major clans of Amber Moon. This junior is a direct descendant of the Lu clan. Lu Honshu whispered to Qin Yu. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Oh, I didn't expect Honshu to be a descendant of an aristocratic family. Honshu shook his head. Senior, don't make fun of me. I don't know how many generations the Lu clan has been passed down. The number of descendants in the Lu clan is more than 10,000. Although I am considered a direct descendant. But the Lu clan nurtures its descendants mainly based on their aptitude and strength. It doesn't have much to do with a direct descendant. In a world where the strong are respected, only those with strength will be respected. Who cares if you are a direct descendant or a branch descendant? Don't be discouraged. The strong also started as a weakling. Qin Yu laughed. Looking at Honshu, Qin Yu also thought of himself. Back then he couldn't even practice internal energy. Compared to Honshu, his aptitude was even worse. So bad that he could only start from the outside and practice his internal energy to reach his current level of cultivation. Lu Honshu nodded after receiving Qin Yu's encouragement. Senior, it is my good fortune to be able to walk beside you today. Normally, how could I have the opportunity to walk in the middle of the road? Someone would have kicked me to the side of the road long ago. Honshu laughed at himself. Qin Yu also patted Honshu's shoulder to comfort him. He also saw that many people on the road were looking at Honshu with mocking eyes. But when they saw Qin Yu beside Honshu, they didn't dare to look at Honshu that way. Times, senior, this is Junior's home. Amber Moon doesn't have much, but it has a lot of land. This junior can also be considered a direct descendant, so I was also assigned a small courtyard. Lu Honshu brought Qin Yu to a small courtyard. Qin Yu stepped into the courtyard. Not bad. Honshu, I will be staying with you for the time being. You don't have any objections, right? Qin Yu smiled faintly. No objections, of course I don't have any objections. Honshu was overjoyed. Qin Yu, this expert, staying with him would only bring him benefits and no harm. I see that there are some problems with your meridians. Come here, let me take a look. Qin Yu sat on a stone bench and beckoned to Honshu. Honshu shook his head and said, Senior, this junior's meridians are naturally thin and narrow. Without reaching the immortal level, it is impossible for me to open up my meridians and dantian. In the mortal world, a Dongshu stage expert could definitely help others open up their meridians. It's just that the mortals of the immortal devil and demon realms from infancy were influenced by elemental spiritual energy. Their physique was also different from the mortals. Let me take a look first. Qin Yu extended his hand. Lu Honshu flew uncontrollably to Qin Yu's side. Qin Yu grabbed Lu Honshu's arm with one hand. Immediately after, Qin Yu transferred his dark star energy and a trace of life elemental energy into Lu Honshu's body. The life force came from Lu Xing's tear. The power of the dark star was extremely powerful. Qin Yu had directly ruptured the meridians within Honshu's body. Such narrow meridians were truly troublesome to expand. It was better to first rupture them and then use the life elemental energy to regenerate them. Qin Yu had no doubts about the efficacy of the life elemental energy. Han Shu's meridians were torn apart. This kind of pain instantly engulfed Han Shu's body. Han Shu forced himself to endure the pain. Your perseverance is not bad, Qin Yu said with a smile. At this time, he controlled the life force to regenerate Han Shu's meridians. Qin Yu controlled the growth of Han Shu's meridians. In a short time, Qin Yu made Han Shu's meridians several times wider than those of ordinary people in the immortal, devil and demon realms. At the same time they were also very tough. Even the meridians of a Kongming master might not necessarily be as tough as Lu Han Shu's meridians after being nourished by the vitality of life. Han Shu only felt a cool and comfortable feeling in his body. Okay. Qin Yu nodded and said, Han Shu, I will go in to rest first. You can come in when I ask you to. Qin Yu said and directly walked into the empty room. Han Shu looked at his meridians. Dumbfounded. Immediately, his face flushed red with excitement. His body trembled and the muscles on his face twitched. Uncontrollably, tears flowed down his cheeks. Han Shu fell to his knees. Mother, I finally don't have to be looked down upon anymore. I finally don't have to worry about being humiliated on the streets. I can finally straighten my back. Han Shu was so excited that he couldn't control himself. From childhood to adulthood, for more than 20 years, he had always been at the bottom of the social ladder, suffering all kinds of humiliation. But now, Han Shu had undergone the transformation of Qin Yu's life force. His aptitude was definitely a genius among geniuses. Coupled with the middle-grade elemental spirit stones in his hands, he could easily break through to the Jindan stage. Times listening to Han Shu's surprised voice outside, that excited and hoarse voice, Qin Yu smiled. This is similar to when I broke through to the Xiantian stage in one fell swoop. Only at that time when I told my father, he didn't let me go with him to the wilderness. Qin Yu smiled. Qin Yu restrained his emotions. He tried to think about his current situation. Han Shu, come in. Qin Yu guessed that Han Shu's mood should be better, so he called him in. After 20 years of repressed emotions, Han Shu really did have a good time to vent. After venting his frustrations, Han Shu felt much better. He used his inner qi to evaporate his tears, tidied up his appearance and walked into the room. Lu Han Shu thanks Senior for the grace of rebirth. Han Shu knelt down and kowtowed. No need to thank me. To tell you the truth, you can still cultivate. When I was cultivating, I couldn't even cultivate normally. My situation was worse than yours. Looking at you reminds me of the old me. Qin Yu said with a smile. Lu Han Shu was stunned. Worse than him. Senior, this junior beseeches Senior to accept me as your disciple. Han Shu suddenly said. Qin Yu's face stiffened. He looked at Han Shu. This Han Shu is a bit scheming. He knows I have a good impression of him, so he wants me to accept him as my disciple. Qin Yu didn't mind and nodded. Very well, I accept you as my disciple. Disciple greets master. Lu Han Shu was overjoyed. With such a master, his future days would be much better. Han Shu, let me ask you something first. If I want to go to the demon realm from here, what should I do? Qin Yu asked directly. Go to the demon realm. Lu Han Shu frowned for a moment and slowly said. This is a bit troublesome. Disciple only knows the general geographical distribution. The Maple Moon star we live in belongs to the Indigo Bay Starfield's Silverstream galaxy. Qin Yu listened carefully. His understanding of the immortal, devil and demon realm was indeed inferior to this new disciple. Indigo Bay Starfield is the border between the immortal and devil realms. As far as I know, the best way to go to the demon realm is to directly enter the hinterland of the immortal realm and then enter the demon realm. Lu Han Shu suddenly frowned. It's just that interstellar travel is the most expensive. Every time you go through a transfer array, you need to spend a lot of elemental spirit stones. At the same time, the ruler of each planet also needs to collect tolls. From here to the demon realm, the amount of elemental spirit stones consumed is a shocking amount. Tolls! Qin Yu was puzzled. Yes, for example, from Maple Moon to the neighboring Blue Mountain Star, the transfer array costs 1 low-grade elemental spirit stone. But you have to pay 2 low-grade elemental spirit stones. If you go further, the transfer array costs 3 low-grade elemental spirit stones. You have to pay 6. Han Shu carefully explained. Qin Yu nodded. It seems that this was a way for the ruler of each planet to make money. This is the tolls. Next, there is the map. A detailed interstellar map is very precious. It records the teleportation points of every planet, which teleportation point leads to which teleportation point, which path is the closest, and so on. It also records which planets are dangerous and cannot be entered, and which places in the universe cannot be approached. In short, if you want to travel in the universe, an interstellar map is essential. But let's not talk about the route from here to the demon realm. Even Indigo Bay Starfield's detailed map, our Maple Moon Starfield only has a few. As for the map from here to the demon realm, Disciple can't think of where to find one. Oh, the immortal emperor must have one. Hearing Han Shu's last sentence, Qin Yu couldn't help but smile. Qin Yu now understood. To go to the demon realm, first, it required an astronomical amount of tolls. Secondly, it required a detailed interstellar map that recorded every transfer point and every dangerous place in the universe. Chapter 316. Travel Expenses, Interstellar Map. Qin Yu said slowly in his heart. To go to the demon realm, Qin Yu was not worried about the travel expenses. He still had a lot of elemental spirit stones. Not to mention, if there was no other way, he could sell a few high-grade immortal tools. When he was in Ni Yang's realm, he took a lot of treasures. The most important thing now was the interstellar map. And according to his disciple, interstellar maps were very rare and precious. Ah, Master, there is another very important thing. Lu Honshu suddenly remembered something and exclaimed, "Speak." Qin Yu looked at his disciple. Lu Honshu hurriedly said, "Master, I have heard that interstellar maps are not omnipotent. For example, a planet marked on an interstellar map may have a transmission array that leads to a certain place. But maybe by the time Master gets there, the transmission array will be destroyed." Qin Yu's heart shook. Yes, the transmission array could not be forever undamaged. If he got an interstellar map from 1,000,000 years ago, it would be useless. It was hard to say if it would be useful. Also, in the interstellar space, if a star becomes a swallowing zone, the surrounding planets may be swallowed or slowly attracted to it. The transmission array of that planet will not be useful. Lu Honshu carefully thought of all kinds of scenarios for his new master. Qin Yu carefully pondered for a moment and then thought of many things. Everywhere in the universe was slowly changing. An interstellar map could only give a rough idea of the route, and the detailed situation could only be determined when one arrived at the place. "Master, I have heard my father say that interstellar travel is only for experts, at least at the golden immortal level." Lu Honshu suddenly whispered. Qin Yu smiled. "Honshu, do you think that Master's power is not at the golden immortal level, and you are worried that I will encounter danger during interstellar travel?" Lu Honshu hurriedly said, "Master, disciple does not doubt Master. It's just that interstellar merchants have appeared on Maple Moon. Every one of them is at least at the golden immortal level. My father was in charge of serving them once. My father was very proud and happy at that time. He went home and told me many things about interstellar merchants." Interstellar merchants. Qin Yu was surprised. "Tell me, what is an interstellar merchant?" Qin Yu could make some guesses from the words alone, but he wasn't very clear about the essence of the matter. "Qin Yu." Lu Honshu's eyes were filled with worship as he said, "Interstellar merchants, they are all top experts. There were people from the demon realm, the celestial realm, and the devil realm. In short, Interstellar merchants came from various realms. They would buy some precious herbs or ores at a low price from one place and then sell them at a high price in a distant place. The difference between buying and selling is tens or even hundreds of times. Qin Yu immediately understood. Wasn't this similar to the merchants on the Hidden Dragon continent? It was just that the interstellar merchants had run even further. Because of the dangers in the galaxy and the high cost of travel, it's not a big deal for the interstellar merchants to sell it at such a high price. But interstellar travel is too dangerous. Lu Honshu solemnly said, "Teacher, this small planet of ours doesn't have many experts, but in the core planet of our Silver Stream galaxy, Red Leaf Planet, there are many powerful experts. In the immortal devil and demon realm, only the strong are respected. If you let others know that you have so many treasures, it's very likely that they will kill you to steal your treasures." Qin Yu nodded and laughed in his heart. It seems that the immortal devil and demon realm was similar. Most of the interstellar merchants had many treasures. If they didn't have the strength, they would have been killed and robbed long ago. The immortal realm is a bit better. Everyone wants to save face and won't directly attack. They will only attack from the shadows. I heard that the devil and demon realms are even more chaotic. It's very likely that they will rob you directly. Lu Honshu said. Qin Yu laughed in his heart. What didn't this disciple understand? Sometimes, attacking from the shadows is more dangerous than robbing in the open. Qin Yu knew that the majority of what this disciple of his had said was from hearsay. But the truth must be discounted. But Qin Yu could also understand many things from his disciple's words. "Honshu, just now on the streets of Lufeng City, I saw many self-cultivators. Many of them didn't have a solid foundation. Although your strength is low, but your soul is already at the late stage of yuanying. You should go and cultivate for a while and directly absorb the energy from the middle-grade elemental spirit stone to reach the yuanying stage." Qin Yu said aloud. "Yes, disciple will take his leave." Lu Honshu immediately left the room. Times, the self-cultivators of the immortal devil and demon realms are really lucky. The immortal devil and demon realms are much higher level than the mortal realms. The self-cultivators here not only improve their strength quickly, but also their soul. Qin Yu praised in his heart. A few years old child reaching the Jindan stage was very normal here, but in the mortal realms it was simply unthinkable. Qin Yu threw these messy thoughts out of his mind and carefully thought about his future path. How much will the travel cost be? I need to find an interstellar merchant and ask. Also, I don't need a map of the entire immortal devil and demon realms for now. A map of the Indigo Bay starfield should be enough. Qin Yu was fully aware of the preciousness of this map. Also, strength. When I open the second layer of the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts, there will be a lot of Demon King level experts. That way I will have an easier time. Qin Yu wasn't anxious. Suddenly, Qin Yu thought of something and laughed. Haha, as a master, I didn't even give a greeting gift to my disciple. Only at this moment did Qin Yu remember that he was too anxious to ask about the matter of going to the demon realm. Qin Yu now had many treasures on him. In Anyang's realm, the worst was a high-grade immortal tool. Giving a high-grade immortal tool to a kid who hasn't even reached the yuanying stage. Qin Yu was worried that his disciple would be killed because of his treasures. I will give my best-grade spirit tool to my disciple. Qin Yu flipped his hand and a long sword, Hei Yuan, appeared in his hand. Hei Yuan was a top-grade spirit tool, but its value lay in its myriad of transformations. Whether it was defense, attack, or a variety of weapons, it could be changed. Its value was no less than a low-grade immortal tool. After removing the blood contract, Qin Yu put away Hei Yuan and prepared to give it to Honshu when he finished his cultivation. Shu Yan, bring out a person. Qin Yu said indifferently. Shu Yan in purple and a middle-aged man in black suddenly appeared in the room. She immediately greeted Qin Yu respectfully. Greetings, Master. Master, this is Zhong Yuan, a level 9 demon. His true form is an extremely powerful azure shadow leopard. Whether it is strategy or strength, He is one of the top 10 in the first layer of the Atlas. Shu Yan respectfully said. Qin Yu nodded. There were more than 200 level 9 demons in the first layer of the Atlas. Moreover, the demon beasts that an Aiyang immortal emperor took in were of good quality. At that time, Shu Yan and the others were of poor quality. They were only comparable to the demon beasts that were sent to the second layer of the Atlas. To be able to rank in the top 10 among so many level 9 demons, their strength was no less than a level 1 golden immortal. Zongyuan Shu Yan. I only know about the existence of interstellar merchants. Interstellar merchants are generally no less powerful than golden immortals. Their servants can't be that strong, right? Qin Yu smiled. Shu Yan smiled. Master, you can ask Zongyuan about this. His father used to be an interstellar merchant. Qin Yu was taken aback. Zongyuan respectfully said, Master, the reason why interstellar merchants have to be at least golden immortal is not only because of the dangers of the journey, but also because only at this level can they use greater teleportation. When traveling in the interstellar space, if there is a problem with the map and you don't want to turn back, you can only rely on greater teleportation to find a shortcut. Qin Yu finally understood. His disciple had only heard about it from hearsay, but Zongyuan obviously had the right to speak. Some interstellar merchants are alone, but of course there are also those with servants. The servants are also divided into bodyguards and attendants. The strength of the bodyguards is generally stronger. Of course, if you want to hire a golden immortal bodyguard, you have to spend a lot of money. The attendants are there to serve, so their strength is naturally weaker. Zongyuan carefully explained. Price, how do you calculate money in the immortal, devil and demon realms? Tell me. Qin Yu immediately said. Shu Yan smiled and said, My lord, this is simple. For immortals, demons, devils and other experts, low-grade elemental spirit stone is the smallest unit. Generally speaking, $100 is 100 low-grade elemental spirit stone. The exchange rate is 1 top-grade elemental spirit stone equals 100 high-grade elemental spirit stone equals 10,000 mid-grade elemental spirit stone equals 1 million low-grade elemental spirit stone. Elemental spirit essence is the most precious. The exchange rate is 1 top-grade elemental spirit stone equals 100 top-grade elemental spirit stone. Of course, this is only a rough estimate because elemental spirit essence is too rare. Sometimes its value is even higher. Shu Yan carefully explained. After a careful discussion, Qin Yu learned a lot about the immortal, devil and demon realms. After the discussion, Qin Yu began to meditate and cultivate his soul. Qin Yu was not worried about his cultivation. With the yuanying of 3 level 1 golden immortals, Qin Yu could refine his soul any time. What Qin Yu needed now was to improve his soul. Times. I've finally reached the early stage of yuanying. I've finally reached it. Lu Honshu excitedly walked out of his house and headed towards Qin Yu's house. A cold voice sounded. Lu Honshu turned his head to look. In the courtyard, there was a man and a woman eating some fruits. These fruits were grown in the first layer of the Atlas. Who are you people and why are you in my house? Lu Honshu was a little unhappy. These two people were Shu Yan and Zongyuan. Master is in the middle of cultivating, don't disturb him. Shu Yan said indifferently. Master is your master, you can rest assured and wait outside. Shu Yan didn't put a nascent soul stage brat in her eyes. After all, in the Atlas she was the leader of a large group of level 9 demons. Master. Lu Honshu was shocked. How did his master get 2 subordinates all of a sudden? Moreover, it was so fast. At this moment in the house, Qin Yu was sitting cross-legged. There was no breath coming from his body, just like a lifeless stone. When his soul reached the essence, Qin Yu knew that the soul was divided into 3 layers. Heaven, earth and human. Only when all 3 of these souls were successfully cultivated, could the soul be considered as one. Vast and boundless misty fog drifted in the endless space. Qin Yu's consciousness was in this space. This was the first layer of the soul, the human soul space. Ever since he obtained the refining of three souls technique from the tears of Lu Xing, Qin Yu knew that the soul could also be cultivated, and that it wasn't something that could be done naturally. A wisp of consciousness instantly took on the form of a human. It was Qin Yu. In the first layer of the soul, Qin Yu's hands had to continuously form 36 hand seals according to the refining of three souls technique. But for some unknown reason, the more he progressed, the more difficult it became. He couldn't be distracted in the slightest while forming these hand seals. Once he was distracted, he would fail. In addition, Qin Yu could sense that these hand seals were very special. Every time he formed one, he would feel much more comfortable. As Qin Yu formed the hand seals, streams of azure green energy began to appear from the outside world within the first layer of the soul space. As time passed, more and more streams of azure green energy were absorbed. Qin Yu formed the 36 hand seals over and over again. Qin Yu didn't feel any boredom at all. Instead, he felt a sort of tranquility in his soul. His entire soul was constantly transforming at an astonishing speed. If Qin Yu could divert some of his attention to observe Lu Xing's tears, he would discover that these streams of azure green energy were flowing out from the tears of Lu Xing and entering the soul space. Within the soul space, one couldn't sense how much time had passed at all. When Qin Yu felt that he had made a breakthrough, he immediately stopped and woke up. Phew, now my soul realm should be around level 8 immortal. Qin Yu calculated in his mind and realized that he had been cultivating for a full 3 months. If he allowed his soul to passively absorb Lu Xing's tears, he estimated that it would take him 3 years to reach his current level. But with his active cultivation, he succeeded in 3 months. Walking out of the house, Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan were still in the courtyard. When they saw Qin Yu come out, they quickly stood up. "We pay our respects to Master." Zhang Yuan and Shu Yan immediately said respectfully. Qin Yu nodded. "That's right, where is my disciple?" That Lu Honshu didn't know how long Master was going to cultivate, so he went out. Shu Yan immediately replied. Qin Yu nodded. He immediately spread out his immortal sense and covered the entire Lu Feng city. Lu Feng city's population was over 10 million, and there were over 1,000 immortal experts. There were experts from all walks of life, so it was very lively. Qin Yu immediately found his disciple. "I didn't expect that my first disciple in the immortal, devil and demon realms would be bullied like this. Well, since I want to get the interstellar map, I should be a little stronger. This little amber moon, I'll secretly control it first. With people familiar with the environment, things will be much easier." Qin Yu didn't want to drag things out, so he directly carried out his plan. Qin Yu's heart moved, and his whole person disappeared from the courtyard. Qin Yu was the master of Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan. Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan naturally sensed Qin Yu's location and immediately teleported over. The 3 great clans of Amber Moon had always been in a state of balance, but because of Qin Yu's arrival, a new change had begun. And the source of this change was a small child of the Lu clan, Lu Honshu. When the qi dissipated, the surrounding people discovered that there was a young man dressed in black standing beside Lu Honshu. That fierce and imposing aura made the surrounding people shudder. That was a real master. The black-clothed young man glanced at everyone with a cold gaze. Everyone felt as if they had entered a world of ice and snow, and their hearts were cold. "Master!" When Honshu saw Qin Yu, he couldn't help but be overjoyed. He immediately bowed and shouted. The white-robed youth was slightly startled, but immediately stood up and bowed to Qin Yu with a smile. Junior Lu Han Ming pays respect to senior. I didn't expect that my brother Honshu would be able to become senior's disciple. Brother Honshu is really lucky. Qin Yu's face was still cold and expressionless. Lu Han Ming couldn't help but mutter in his heart. When did Lu Honshu get such a master? This person is too cold. Master. Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan also appeared behind Qin Yu. They were very respectful. However, Qin Yu's eyes are still coldly looking at Lu Honming and the others. This makes Lu Honming and the others worried. Among this group of people, the scholarly middle-aged man with the highest level of power stands out. Junior Tsong Fan, where did Senior come from? The scholarly middle-aged man was after all a level 2 heavenly immortal and had some reputation. Qin Yu didn't answer. He didn't give the scholarly middle-aged man any face. Lu Honming, Tsong Fan and the others didn't dare to leave. After all, Qin Yu's aura had completely enveloped them. They could definitely be killed in an instant. Speak, who was it that injured my disciple earlier? Qin Yu said indifferently. Lu Honming bowed and said, Senior, Brother Han Shu was walking in the middle of the street and was injured by one of my guards. Lu Honming thought highly of himself and was too lazy to deal with Han Shu. Who was it? Qin Yu continued. It was me. A guard stood up. This guard was only at the Dongshu stage and belonged to the lower generation in Lufeng City. The guard said confidently. Lu Honshu's strength is weak, so what if I hurt him? Qin Yu glanced at the guard indifferently. The guard fell to the ground with his eyes wide open. Disrespect to my master, you deserve to die. Zhang Yuan said coldly. Just now it was Zhang Yuan who attacked. Of course, this Zhang Yuan was under Qin Yu's command. The onlookers, including Lu Honming and the others, were all shocked. Even the most powerful person on the scene, a level 6 heaven immortal senior of the Lu family, didn't see how Zhang Yuan attacked when he fell to the ground. Obviously, Zhang Yuan's strength was far beyond a level 6 immortal. The sound of wind breaking could be heard as dozens of experts arrived in the air. They stood high up in the air and looked down on the ground. They were extremely arrogant. Who dares to behave atrociously in my Lu family? Report dash. The man in the air stopped talking and flew down like lightning. His expression quickly changed into a friendly one. This was a handsome middle-aged man. Great-grandfather. Lu Honming looked at the middle-aged man and respectfully said. Lu Honshu also respectfully said, Great-grandfather. So this Lu Honshu and Lu Honming have the same great-grandfather. This humble one is Lu Yunshan, greetings senior. I don't know what happened between my two great-grandsons, Honming and Honshu, that angered senior. Lu Yunshan said with a friendly smile. The level 6 heavenly immortal who had been watching the entire time also walked out. His appearance was very similar to Lu Yunshan's. He also said to Qin Yu, Senior, I am Lu Yunten. Senior is Honshu's master, so naturally we are family. Please forgive Honming for this matter. The two juniors were merely fighting due to personal feelings. Lu Yuntan transmitted his voice to Lu Yunshan. Yunshan, you were so arrogant when you were in the air just now. If I didn't transmit my voice and offend this guy, my Lu family would have suffered a great loss. Yuntan, this time I owe you a favor. I didn't expect 3 experts to come here at once. I can't see through their strength. Lu Yunshan transmitted his voice. Lu Yuntan and Lu Yunshan were the upper echelons of the Lu family. They were waiting for Qin Yu to speak. Qin Yu laughed in his heart. He didn't expect that they would be a family now. Honshu, how do you think we should resolve today's matter? Qin Yu looked at his disciple Honshu. Honshu was startled. Lu Yunshan and Lu Yuntan both looked at Honshu. At the same time, Lu Yunshan quickly said, Honshu, this is just a small matter between you juniors. Don't trouble your master. Alright Honshu, you and your father haven't been to my place for a long time. In the future you should visit more often. Honshu felt a burst of sadness in his heart. Before today, no one looked up to him. As for his great-grandfather's luxurious palace, he had never been there even once. Most likely, he was chased away by the guards at the entrance. Now, this high and mighty great-grandfather was treating him so well. Master, let's forget about this matter. It's not a big deal. Honshu said to Qin Yu. Qin Yu nodded and said, Since Honshu said so, I will spare these people's lives. Death can be forgiven, but punishment cannot be forgiven. Zongyuan, let these people go back and lie down for 3 months. Senior. Lu Yunshan and Lu Yuntan's eyes widened in disbelief. Lu Hanming and the others were also shocked. Yes, master. Zongyuan respectfully said. A shadow flashed by. In a breath's time, Zongyuan stood behind Qin Yu, a giant demon ranked in the top 10 among the 209th level demons. Against a group of level 2 immortals, the rest were ordinary cultivators. It was as easy as blowing off dust. The group of people vomited blood and fell to the ground. Senior, this is a bit too much. Lu Yunshan was a little angry. His aura was rising. Qin Yu coldly glanced at Lu Yunshan. Lu Yunshan felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured over him, completely sobering him up. Qin Yu's disciple, no one can bully him. Qin Yu said indifferently. Han Shu, you come back with me. In this Lu family, you are not a member of the Lu family. Why are you so sentimental? Han Shu's heart suddenly recalled the memories of the past 20 years. Those memories made him shudder. Family. Is that even a family? Those brothers mocked him and bullied him. Such a family was better off not having it. Lu Honshu threw away the burden in his heart. Yes, master. Lu Honshu respectfully said to Qin Yu. Although the Lu family was known as one of the 3 great families, they only had one golden immortal expert. The rest were sky immortals. Qin Yu's atlas of 10,000 beasts had more than 209th level demons. Wiping out the Lu family was a piece of cake. Let's go. Qin Yu grabbed Han Shu and disappeared from the street. Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan turned around and sneered at Lu Yunshan and Lu Yuntan. They also disappeared into thin air. Lu Yunshan and Lu Yuntan looked at each other, their brows furrowed. Times this remote courtyard was different from the other luxurious courtyards of the Lu family. However, on this day, a group of people gathered outside this remote courtyard belonging to Lu Honshu. Master is currently teaching young Master Lu Honshu. He will not receive any guests for 3 hours. 2 burly men stood at the entrance of the courtyard. These 2 were the level 8 demons Qin Yu summoned from the first layer of the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts, Pai Huan and Pai Fan. One must know that the Atlas of 10,000 Beasts had so many level 9 demons, but this time 2 level 8 demons were summoned. This made Pai Huan and Pai Fan want to prove themselves in front of their master, Qin Yu. They also want to win face for the hundreds of level 8 demons. Outside the manor, the clan leader, the 3 elders, and a guest elder could only exchange a bitter smile. Behind them was a group of guards from the Lu clan. These guards were all elites, and even the weakest among them was a level 1 heavenly immortal. Yun Shan, you said that the person's 2 subordinates were not these 2. Lu family's patriarch Lu Yunlu asked. Lu Yunshan nodded and said, I am sure. The 2 subordinates were a woman and a lean man. They were not these 2 burly men. Level 8 demons. The only guest elder who came frowned. If I am not wrong, these 2 level 8 demons should be fire lions. Their actual attack power is far beyond that of a level 8 demon. Even this old man can at most fight one. The gatekeepers are 2 level 8 sky demons. Lu family's patriarch also felt a wave of pressure. That Qin Yu's subordinates should be stronger. Amen. Sai, when did such a person come? Lu family's patriarch also had a headache. Because most demons are stronger than immortals of the same level, unless the immortal's cultivation method is special and powerful. Big brother, Qin Yu's 2 subordinates called Qin Yu Master. If it was a normal relationship, they would only call him Lord. But since they called him Master, the meaning is deeper. Lu Yunlu said. Lu family's patriarch nodded. How could he not know this point? Generally, only those super large families that control many planets would specially train experts, and these experts would call someone Master. After a long time. Creak. The wooden door swung open. Master says you may enter. One of the 2 level 8 demons said. Also, don't let the guards in. The courtyard is too small to hold them all. Lu family's patriarch laughed. There is one more person who wishes to enter. He is Lu Honshu's father, Lu Niansu. Let him in. A calm voice came from the courtyard. Lu family's patriarch, 3 elders, a guest elder, and Honshu's father, Lu Niansu, entered. The 6 of them entered the courtyard. Within the courtyard, Lu Honshu had finally gained full control of the black essence. His body was covered in a handsome battle robe. This was only a part of the black essence, the other part was a flying sword. Qin Yu sat on a stone bench. Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan stood behind him, one on his left and one on his right. Lu Honshu was also by his side. Patriarch, those 2 subordinates are very strong. I can't see through them, but they are at least level 9 demons. As for that Qin Yu, his strength is around level 8 immortal. The guest elder transmitted. After fusing with Lu Xing's tear, Qin Yu's control over his spiritual sense had reached an astonishing level. The guest elder's immortal sense was immediately detected. Oh, his strength is not bad. Qin Yu laughed. At the same time, his spiritual sense was completely retracted into Lu Xing's tear. Not to mention the level 9 immortal guest elder. Even a golden immortal expert would not be able to see through Qin Yu's spiritual sense. The guest elder's face changed greatly. Patriarch, this Qin Yu's strength is unfathomable. The guest elder hurriedly said to Lu family's patriarch. The guest elder could not sense Qin Yu's spiritual sense at all, not even the energy within his body. Lu family's patriarch was also angry. The guest elder said level 8 immortal, then unfathomable. Chapter 318. I am the head of the Lu family, Lu Yunlu. Greetings to Mr. Qin. I wonder what business Mr. Qin has in this little Amber Moon. If there is anything, please do not hesitate to ask. Here on Amber Moon, my Lu family still has some power. Qin Yu smiled faintly and pointed to the seat opposite him. Sit. The head of the Lu family immediately sat down. Let's talk about my business later. I have accepted a disciple here on Amber Moon. However, I found out that someone dared to humiliate my disciple. And the person who humiliated my disciple seems to be a brother of the same generation. I hope the head of the Lu family can tell me the reason. Qin Yu said slowly. Behind Qin Yu, Shu Yan sneered. Little brat of the Lu clan, wise up a little. If you are obedient, Master will help you and your Lu clan prosper. If you are not happy, your Lu clan will decline. Shu Yan was very clear that Qin Yu only wanted the interstellar map. He didn't care about power or influence. There were many ways to get the interstellar map, and Qin Yu's choice was to ask from these so-called big families. Of course, this was the main event, and it wasn't too late to talk about it later. Humiliate. Where did this come from? The head of the Lu family said with a smile. He pondered for a moment and said, in fact, this was caused by the competition between the younger generation. But I promise from now on this kind of thing will never happen again. You promise? Qin Yu smiled faintly. I find it hard to believe your promise. Master, the head of the family's words are very useful. Lu Honshu whispered. Qin Yu couldn't help but laugh. You sinful disciple, I really don't know what to say about you. Lu Honshu was only 25 years old, and hadn't seen much of the world. Today, when he saw the big shots of the Lu family arrive, he felt his whole body was floating. Especially when he heard the head of the family's promise. He was overjoyed. Forget it, since Honshu said so. Then let's forget about this matter. Qin Yu said with a smile. The head of the Lu family also smiled. I saw that Honshu's spirit weapon is very amazing. It seems to be able to transform into anything. Such an amazing spiritual weapon was definitely the best among all spiritual weapons. Could it be that Mr. Qin refined it? Qin Yu nodded. He knew that the Lu family head was flattering him, but he naturally had a good impression of this Lu family head. After all, the head of the Lu family was quite sensible and not a reckless person. Family head Lu, Didn't you ask me what's the matter? I do have a rather important matter to trouble you, family head Lu. Course, I can give you a sufficient reward. Qin Yu said. The Lu family head hurriedly said, Don't talk about rewards. As long as I can help, I will. No, I won't help you. I will always owe you a favor in my heart. I don't like to owe people favors. Qin Yu shook his head. All right then. Since Mr. Qin doesn't like to owe people favors, the Lu family head's eyes lit up. I do have a small request. Hope Mr. Qin can be the Lu family's guest elder. Guest elder? Qin Yu raised his eyebrows. I'm very busy. The Lu family head hurriedly said. It's just in name, just in name. If there's anything, Mr. Qin, if you happen to be free, please help out a little. We definitely won't bother you. If that's the case. Qin Yu pondered for a moment. The Lu family head, the three elders behind him, and the guest elder all looked at Qin Yu. All right, I agree. Qin Yu nodded. That's great. This is the gift for the Lu family's guest elder. It's the same for every guest elder. Please accept it. With that, a pile of things appeared in front of the Lu family head. Taking a closer look, a token, a sparkling pearl, and 10 high-grade elemental holy stones. This token is the symbol of the Lu family's guest elder. With this token, everyone in the Lu family must greet you. This pearl is a communication spiritual pearl. Although it's not too expensive, it's still a bit difficult to buy. These 10 high-grade elemental holy stones are also for Mr. Qin's cultivation. The Lu family head said with a smile. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. He smiled and said, That's quite generous. Qin Yu didn't care about high-grade elemental holy stones. He had never counted how many high-grade elemental holy stones there were in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. But Qin Yu knew that there were a lot. At least over 1,000. Communication spiritual pearl. This was what Qin Yu coveted the most. Communication talismans have a limited range. Of course, it's enough if you're on the same planet. Even if you're on 2 planets close to each other, you can barely use it. But if you're on 2 planets far away, you can't use it. In the immortal devil and demon realm, you have to communicate frequently. Communication talismans are almost useless. What's useful is the communication spiritual pearl. The range of the communication spiritual pearl can cover 1 to 2 star fields. If one wanted to contact the immortal realm and the demon realm, they would need to go to a fixed transmission array and then use the transmission spiritual bead to communicate. Because in the array, the communication spiritual pearl can send messages very far away. It can reach most places in the immortal, devil and demon realm. It's just that the communication array is very troublesome to set up. Qin Yu is currently missing a communication spiritual pearl. Since Lu family head is so kind, I'll accept. Qin Yu accepted all 3 items. Now Mr. Qin, you can tell us what you want. The Lu family's guest elder's business is the Lu family's business. As long as you say it, the Lu family will try our best to help, the Lu family head said immediately. Qin Yu smiled. Actually, my sex elders want to go to the demon realm, but they don't have a map of the demon realm. I don't know if Lu family head can help them get a detailed map of the demon realm. Qin Yu inquired. Hearing about going to the demon realm, Lu family head frowned. When he saw Qin Yu's subordinates, he knew that Qin Yu must be related to the demon realm. Since his sex elders want to go to the demon realm, it's not strange. This interstellar map. Lu family head pondered for a moment and said seriously, Mr. Qin, to tell you the truth, interstellar maps are very rare and very precious. Because those maps can only be memorized by merchants who are constantly on the move. And every merchant will memorize a path that suits them. It's not very complete. So to form an interstellar map is very difficult. Qin Yu of course understood this point. When the mortals of the Qianlong continent explored the wilderness, those maps were also very precious. Compared to the wilderness, The immortal devil and demon realm's boundless interstellar space was much more difficult to explore. My Lu family has a complete map of the Indigo Bay starfield. There are a total of 10 galaxies in the Indigo Bay starfield. Each galaxy has thousands of inhabited planets. Do you know how much a map of the Indigo Bay starfield costs outside? Lu family head asked Qin Yu. Qin Yu smiled and said, I don't know about this. 1 million and it's still priceless. Lu family head said with certainty. Qin Yu understood that the 1 million referred to 1 million low-grade elemental holy ore, which is equivalent to 100 high-grade elemental holy ore. It's indeed a very high price. Oh, priceless. What's going on? Qin Yu asked. Lu family head didn't know if Qin Yu was deliberately asking this or playing with him. But Lu family head still explained. Do you still need to think about this point? In the interstellar map is the most important. A complete map represents wealth. With a complete map, you can easily move through the interstellar map and earn a lot of money. The Lu family was lucky enough to get this map a few thousand years ago. Of the 3 big families on Amber Moon, only the Yen family has a copy. Even the Wang family doesn't have a complete map of the Indigo Bay system, the leader of the Lu family said with certainty. Qin Yu heard the Lu family head talking about the importance of the interstellar map. He naturally understood that the Lu family head wanted him to be more grateful for the map. Lu family head, I'm asking for a map from here to the demon realm. It's more or less a map of the immortal devil and demon realm. Of course, having a map of the Indigo Bay starfield is also good. With a map of the Indigo Bay starfield, he can easily travel through the Indigo Bay starfield without fear of getting lost in the boundless universe. Relying on the map of the Indigo Bay starfield, he can go to places with a lot of experts, planets where big powers gather, for example, planets where immortal emperors live. It's not impossible to get a map of the immortal devil and demon realm. Mr. Qin, this interstellar map has always been under the control of the great elder of the Qin family. It would be difficult for me to help you create a copy. Lu family head said in distress. Qin Yu says with an indifferent smile. As long as Clan Master Lu helps me, I'll definitely remember this favor. Lu family head pondered for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, Fine, I'll go back and try to persuade the great elder. Patriarch Lu, could it be that your power in the Lu clan is still inferior to that of the Grand Elder? Qin Yu asked. Lu family head laughed. Mr. Qin, you don't know this. My Lu family has dozens of elders and 7 or 8 guests. Dozens of elders all listen to the great elder's orders. The same goes for the guests. Do you think the great elder's power is great? Qin Yu understood. Lu family head, aren't you jealous? Qin Yu continued. Jealous? Why would I be jealous? He is the previous family head and also my grandfather. Why would I be jealous? Lu family head laughed and said, Moreover, my grandfather is the #1 expert of the Lu family. It's only right that he has such power. Qin Yu nodded. Fine, that's all for today. When Lu family head has news of the Indigo Bay starfield map, we'll talk again. Fine, then I'll take my leave. The head of the Lu clan stood up and said. Then, the head of the Lu clan left with a group of people. Interstellar map, it's really difficult to get. Qin Yu shook his head and smiled. My strength is still a bit weak. My soul realm is not high enough. Wait until I refine a level 1 golden immortals yuanying. Then I'll be able to open the second layer of the Atlas. Atlas of 10,000 beasts second layer. There was a large group of demon kings inside. If he released a few hundred of them, Qin Yu would have a much easier time. After all, the only thing that surpassed the golden immortal level was the sword immortal puppet, and the sword immortal puppet required the energy of the highest grade elemental spirit stones. I'm going to cultivate. When the Lu family head arrives, Shi Yan, inform me through your thoughts. Don't disturb me during other times. Qin Yu said and went straight to his room. Yes, master. Shu Yan and Zhong Yuan bowed and complied. Lu Honshu and his father Lu Nian Su entered the house and began to talk. Lu Nian-su had lived a life of servitude for the past few decades. Whenever he saw someone, he had to bow. Now, relying on his son, he could finally straighten his back. Inside the first layer of the Soul Realm, in a vast expanse of chaos, Qin Yu sat cross-legged in the void. His hands slowly formed one seal after another. Each seal contained a great power. His entire soul was constantly evolving as he absorbed the energy of Lu Xing's tears. As Qin Yu continued to train, the days continued to move forward. 10 days later. In the courtyard there were two people. One was an old man with a green beard, and the other was the Lu family head. Lu family head, please wait a moment, Shi Yan said, and immediately called for Qin Yu through her thoughts. After a moment, the door to Qin Yu's room opened. Qin Yu walked out with a smile. Mr. Qin, let me introduce you. This is the Lu family head elder. Lu family head hurriedly said to Qin Yu. Qin Yu's eyes swept over the Lu family head elder. The Lu family head elder gave Qin Yu an ordinary feeling. Golden immortal. I estimate his strength is not much different from sword immortal Hua Yan. Just from the aura, Qin Yu could tell. I am Lu family head Lu Minghan. Mr. Qin's cultivation is profound. Lu Minghan found that he could not sense Qin Yu's aura, whether it was the aura of the soul or the energy within the body. Qin Yu's soul power was completely absorbed into Lu Xing's tears. His own energy was condensed into a small dark red bead called the Dark Star. Lu Minghan could not sense it. Mr. Lu's cultivation is also very high. I wonder if the matter I asked of Lu family head was resolved. Qin Yu asked. Lu family head looked at Lu Minghan. Lu Minghan smiled and said, Mr. Qin, the interstellar map of Indigo Bay Starfield is very precious. Not only are there teleportation arrays to the most common inhabited planets, but there are also teleportation arrays to some uninhabited planets. There are also teleportation arrays to some special places. At the same time, it also explains some special things about the teleportation arrays on the planets. For example, the teleportation arrays on some planets can only be entered but not exited. Can only be entered but not exited. Qin Yu was surprised. Yes, the teleportation array. You can only enter the planet, but when you exit, you have to rely on your own ability. Lu Minghan explained in detail. In short, there is a lot of complicated information. After all, interstellar travel is not a simple matter. Qin Yu now understood that his understanding of the interstellar map was still too little. No wonder the interstellar map was so valuable. Mr. Qin, this is a copy of the interstellar map of my Lu family. This map was obtained thousands of years ago. According to my estimation, this map was drawn up about 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago, the major planets should not have changed much. Lu Minghan handed a jade slip to Qin Yu. Drawn up 10,000 years ago. Qin Yu also knew from Zhang Yuan that an interstellar map drawn up hundreds of thousands of years ago was very valuable, not to mention a map drawn up 10,000 years ago. Qin Yu did not hesitate and directly took the jade slip. He scanned it with his immortal sense and stored it in his blazing profound ring. Mr. Lu family head, for the two of you to give this interstellar map to me, I, Qin Yu, owe you a favor. I don't know if there is anything I can help you with, but as long as it is within my ability, I, Qin Yu, will not refuse. Qin Yu understood in his heart. How could such a huge interstellar map be given to him without a request? Chapter 319. Ming Han and the head of the Lu family looked at each other. After a while, Ming Han gave a slightly embarrassed smile and said, Mr. Qin, let me explain this matter. We do indeed have a request for Mr. Qin, but this request is somewhat excessive. Qin Yu frowned. Too much. If it was too much, why mention it? Qin Yu understood that this was the Lu clan head's way of saying, retreat in order to advance. But since he had already accepted the Lu clan head's request, how could he not help? He smiled and said, Lu clan head, please speak. I know my ability. If I can do it, I will. If I can't, then let me say the ugly words first. Of course. The Lu clan head said immediately. Yunlu, let's get straight to the point. Ming Han said. Yes, Grand Elder. The Lu clan's clan master nods, then says to Qinyu, this matter is related to the struggle for the right to control the teleportation arrays. This struggle for the right to control the teleportation arrays is held once every 100 years. In another 10 years, there will be a new struggle for the right to control the teleportation arrays. We want Mr. Qin to help us seize control of the teleportation array. Qinyu frowned and said, speak clearly. What teleportation array control? The Lu clan head smiled and said, I spoke too hastily. The matter is like this. Every planet has several teleportation arrays. Every year, the amount of elemental spirit stones earned through teleportation arrays is a staggering amount. Therefore, on Amber Moon, every 100 years, the 3 great clans will compete for control of the teleportation array. Once the competition is won, the teleportation array control will belong to the clan for 100 years. Qinyu nodded. Understand. But first I want to ask a question. How much wealth does each of the 3 great clans have? The Lu clan head was startled. If Lu clan head does not wish to speak, then that is fine. I know this question is a bit rude. Qinyu smiled. Ming Han held out his hand and said, no, let me answer. From Mr. Qin's question, it seems that in your own clan or sect, you do not care about the distribution of wealth. You have not thought about it carefully, have you? Qinyu smiled. This is indeed as Mr. Lu said. Qinyu could only answer in this way. Ming Han nodded and said, Mr. Qin, you have seen how big our clan is. But you can't see that we have to maintain such a huge clan, with so many guards and experts. Just how many spirit essence stones are consumed every year? Speaking of a family's wealth, although our Lu family has been passed down for so many years, our income only slightly exceeds our expenses. For example, this time, they invited Mr. Qin to be a guest elder. A guest elder token, the workmanship, the ores, and other materials were worth tens of thousands of yuan. The messaging spiritual pearl was even more precious. Although it was normally worth a few 100,000, the way to purchase it was very secretive. We also spent close to 300,000 renminbi to buy it. There were also 10 high-grade elemental spirit stones, which were also worth 100,000. These 3 items added up to hundreds of thousands of yuan. Not only that, but we also have to provide guest elders with elemental spirit stones to cultivate every year. Qinyu understood that the so-called several 100,000 was referring to several 100,000 low-grade spirit essence stones. This is only 1 guest warrior. Our Lu family has 9 guest warriors. At the same time, we have nearly 1,000 sky immortal experts and tens of thousands of family members. How big is the consumption? Ming Han smiled bitterly. In the immortal devil and demon realms, if you want to earn spirit essence stones, one is to mine ores and spirit herbs. Another is to be an interstellar merchant. And the last is to be in charge of a planet's teleportation array. Among these, the one who earns the most spirit essence stones should be controlling the planet's teleportation array. Qinyu understood in his heart. If a large clan did not mine ores, engage in commerce, or control the planet's teleportation array, it would not be easy. Not many people would work for free for such a clan, including the guest elders. Moreover, without spirit essence stones, the cultivation speed of the family members would be extremely slow. It would be easy for other powers to surpass them. Maintaining a large clan is indeed difficult. Qinyu sighed. His Qin clan had absolute military superiority on the Qianlong continent, and was a royal family in the past. Because of this, the Qin clan's influence on the Qianlong continent had reached the extreme. As long as they maintained their normal status, there would be no problems. The Qin clan was so relaxed because the competition was not fierce. However, in the immortal devil and demon realms, there were great clans and great powers. Powerful figures such as Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor, who stood at the pinnacle, had to contend with other powerful immortal emperors and even the experts of the devil and demon realms. Small powers such as the Lu clan, who dominated a planet, also had to contend with the other two clans. Mr. Lu, please continue. Qin Yu looked at Ming Han and said. Ming Han nodded. Mr. Qin, you asked me how much the Lu clan's assets are, and I can tell you. Currently, the total amount of spirit essence stones in the Lu clan's treasury is about 100 million. 100 million low-grade spirit essence stones was equivalent to 100 pieces of top-grade spirit essence stones. If there is no income, this 100 million can only sustain the Lu clan for a few hundred years. Do you know how much profit you can make in 100 years if you control the teleportation array? Ming Han asked Qin Yu. I don't know about this. In fact, Qin Yu didn't even know how much spirit essence stones a teleportation array would cost, let alone 100 years of profit. Ming Han's eyes lit up. This teleportation array costs 4 to 10 low-grade spirit essence stones to travel to a nearby planet. The further ones cost about 100. The furthest ones cost about 1,000. Excuse me, Mr. Lu, but how far can this teleportation array travel? Qin Yu asked. Ming Han smiled. How far can the teleportation array travel? The furthest it can travel is no more than one galaxy. Qin Yu was stunned. To be honest, he didn't expect the teleportation array to be so expensive. Indigo Bay starfield had 10 galaxies. It seemed that the cost to travel across a starfield was more than 10,000, and from here to the demon realm, it would cost at least a few 100,000. Every day there are many people using the teleportation array. The daily profit is tens of thousands, and in a year it's close to 10 million. In 100 years it's about 1 billion. Ming Han took a deep breath. As long as we can control a planet, we can live comfortably for thousands of years. 1 billion, enough to sustain the Lu clan for thousands of years. Dare I ask, Mr. Lu, since ancient times, how many times has your clan controlled the teleportation array? Qin Yu probed. Ming Han smiled embarrassedly. My Lu clan has a long history, millions of years of history. However, in these millions of years we have only controlled the teleportation array. Once. Qin Yu's eyes widened. Heavens! The Lu clan was one of the 3 great clans. In these millions of years, they had at least tens of thousands of opportunities to seize control of the teleportation array. But in these tens of thousands, they had only controlled it once. Could they still be called one of the 3 great clans? Ming Han and the head of the Lu clan were embarrassed. Ming Han smiled bitterly. Mr. Qin, please don't make fun of us. Speaking of this matter, the only time he was in control was hundreds of thousands of years ago. Over the years, to maintain such a large clan, we had to work hard to do business. As for the mines, after so many years, the valuable ones have long been mined out. All these years, our Lu family has been living in poverty. The head of the Lu clan nodded. Indeed, Mr. Qin, you have seen it for yourself. Your disciple, Lu Honshu, if it were hundreds of thousands of years ago, every member of the Lu clan, including the younger generation, would have received a piece of low-grade spirit yuan stone a year. But today, even a piece of low-grade spirit yuan stone requires the younger generation to compete for it. Only those who rank high can get it. Speaking of this, the head of the Lu clan was also very bitter. Qin Yu was speechless. Master, they are really pitiful. If they don't have enough money, why do they have to recruit so many people? Xian's voice sounded in Qin Yu's mind. This was a telepathic communication. Only those who had a soul connection could do this. Qin Yu heard Xian's whispers and smiled indifferently. 1 clan. Was he willing to give up so many people? Both of you, to be honest, I still don't understand. Is there a huge gap between your clan and the other 2 clans? In these millions of years, you have only won once every 100 years. Qin Yu still wanted to ask. Because Qin Yu's heart was moved. He was moved by the wealth of the other 2 clans. If the other 2 clans had won many times, it meant that the other 2 clans' wealth was very large. At that time, he would directly rob the leader of his wealth. Top-grade spirit Yuan stone. Qin Yu needed it the most. Moreover, Amber Moon only had a few golden immortals. Qin Yu didn't put them in his eyes. Is the gap big? No, in terms of strength, our Lu clan is ranked second. As for the third-ranked Wang family, in the last million years, they haven't been able to gain any control over it. Ming Han said. Qin Yu's face stiffened. What you're saying is, the Yen clan, which is ranked first, has always been in their hands for so many years. Their wealth and power far surpass yours. Qin Yu was moved by this Yen clan. For so many years they had been in control of the teleportation array. How much wealth did they have? If he just grabbed a few hundred top-grade spirit Yuan stones, he wouldn't have to be so careful when using his sword immortal puppet. After all, as long as he had enough top-grade spirit Yuan stones, his sword immortal puppet would be an immortal. Qin Yu was well aware of the toughness of the sword immortal puppet. He had never seen anything that could break through the defense of the sword immortal puppet. Yes, the teleportation array has been in the hands of the Yen clan all these years. Ming Han nodded. Oh, tell me more about the Yen clan. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. Poor Yen clan, you're in trouble. Behind Qin Yu, Shu Yan and Zhang Yuan both had the same thought. As Qin Yu's servants, they knew about Qin Yu's sword immortal puppet. Naturally, they understood what Qin Yu was planning. Ming Han smiled. Of course, if not for the Yen clan, our Lu clan would have taken control of the teleportation array long ago. The number one expert of the Yen clan, the current Grand Elder, Yen Gao, is a sword immortal. Moreover, he is a level 6 golden sword immortal. Ming Han said solemnly. Mr. Lu, may I ask how strong you are? Qin Yu asked. I am only a level 2 golden immortal. My strength is far from Yen Gao's. Ming Han said embarrassedly. Qin Yu shook his head. A sword immortal's strength was strong, and the opponent was a level 6 golden immortal. It would be strange if Ming Han could take it. However, a level 6 golden sword immortal was still something he could handle. Besides Yen Gao, the Yen clan has another golden immortal. I don't care about that golden immortal, Ming Han said confidently. I'm worried about Yen Gao. If we can take care of him, then there won't be any problems. Qin Yu deliberately frowned. Seeing Qin Yu frown, Ming Han and Ming Han's hearts trembled. You too, you want me to help you seize control of the teleportation array. How do I do that? Qin Yu said indifferently. Ming Han immediately said, there are 2 ways. The first is, in 10 years in the competition you will win. The competition will be divided into 3 rounds, and whoever wins 2 will be given the opportunity. The other way, Qin Yu said immediately. The other way is to help kill Yen Gao. Ming Han's eyes flashed with a cold light. Regarding this Yen Gao, Ming Han had long hated him to the bone. Qin Yu raised his eyebrows. Kill Yen Gao. He planned to kill Yen Gao, and also to take the top-grade elemental holy stones from the Yen clan. Alas, a sword immortal with the strongest attack power, and a level 6 golden immortal at that. This is very difficult. Very difficult. Qin Yu said helplessly. At least I don't have a way. Is there really no way? Ming Han and the Lu clan leader were a little worried. Qin Yu pondered for a moment. Ming Han's eyes lit up and he quickly said, I remember Mr. Qin said that your sect's elders were going to the demon realm. They should be in the Indigo Bay Starfield, right? No need to say more, I know what you mean. Qin Yu waved his hand and sighed. My sect's elders are indeed strong. Killing a level 6 golden immortal is not impossible. Ming Han and the Lu clan leader couldn't help but smile. Qin Yu smiled bitterly. But I'm just a junior. How can I order my sect's elders around? For no reason, my sect's elders would kill a level 6 golden immortal sword immortal. It would be strange if my martial uncle didn't scold me to death. This, Ming Han and the Lu clan leader frowned. There is really no way. If there are any conditions, As long as it is within our means, we will help. Ming Han immediately said. His Lu clan only had 100 million in wealth. Even if they used it all up, it wouldn't matter. Compared to controlling the teleportation array, controlling the array was obviously more important. Qin Yu pondered for a moment, and his eyes lit up. Actually, it's not that there is no way. My martial uncle is currently refining a secret treasure, and he needs top-grade elemental holy stones. Only top-grade elemental holy stones are of the purest quality. So, as long as you can provide enough top-grade elemental holy stones, it might be possible to persuade my martial uncle. When the time comes, I can rely on my martial uncle's influence. Should be possible. Qin Yu took a detour and finally revealed his fox tail. Top-grade elemental holy stones. Ming Han and the Lu clan leader felt their breath catch in their throat. The two couldn't help but sigh. As expected of someone from a great power. Refining a secret treasure required a large amount of top-grade elemental holy stones. Chapter 320. While Ming Han and the Lu clan's clan leader were in awe of Qin Yu's power, their hearts were filled with helplessness. Qin Yu asked for top-grade elemental holy stones. And how many pieces? One must know that a piece of top-grade elemental holy stone was equivalent to 1 million. Even if the Lu family went bankrupt, how many top-grade elemental holy stones would they have? Top-grade elemental holy stone. One piece is worth 1 million. Lu Ming Han said helplessly. Mr. Qin, normally our family doesn't have the luxury of using top-grade elemental holy stones. That's why we have a lot of top-grade elemental holy stones, but very few top-grade ones. The Lu family's current assets were about 100 million. Usually they would consume low and mid-grade elemental holy stones, and occasionally high-grade ones. As for top-grade elemental holy stones, they couldn't afford it. Mr. Lu sighed. Qin Yu sighed. You have helped me a lot by giving me the interstellar map. I will personally give 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones to my martial uncle. Now it's up to you. Of course, if it's less than 10 pieces, then don't give it to my martial uncle. Lu Ming Han and Lu family head looked at each other. It wasn't clear if they were communicating through their immortal sense. Behind Qin Yu, Shuo Yan and Zhong Yuan's faces were solemn, but in their hearts they were laughing. Qin Yu gave 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones to his martial uncle. It's just giving it to his right hand. Grandfather, we should be decisive. As long as that Yen Gao is dead, not only will we be able to get control of the transportation array, but we will also be able to get it. As long as we pledge our allegiance to the Jade Sword School, we will be able to obtain even the next opportunity. The Lu family head persuaded Ming Han with his immortal sense. In such a big decision, it was up to Lu Ming Han to make the final decision. Lu Ming Han was struggling in his heart. Suddenly, Lu Ming Han raised his head and said, Mr. Qin, can you give me an estimate of how many top-grade elemental holy stones are needed to convince your martial uncle? Obviously, Lu Ming Han had made a decision. Qin Yu was satisfied. How many? Qin Yu pondered for a moment. My martial uncle is refining a secret treasure, and he needs a lot of top-grade elemental holy stones. I think 20 or 30 pieces would be enough. Of course, if it's more than 50 pieces, then there's an 80 to 90% chance of success. If it's 100 pieces, my martial uncle will definitely agree. Qin Yu said this number because of the Lu family's assets. Ming Han nodded. All right, Mr. Qin. My family only has a few pieces of top-grade spirit elemental stones. Please allow me to go back and think of a way. I'll trouble you again in a few days. Well said, well said. Now that I have the map of the Indigo Bay star system, how could I not help you? Qin Yu said with a smile. The Lu clan's clan leader and Ming Han left Qin Yu's residence. Times in the meeting room of the Lu family. Greetings, great elder. A fat middle-aged man respectfully saluted Ming Han. Ming Han took a deep breath and said, Yun Fan, my Lu family's business has been managed by you all these years. Right now, I have a very important task for you. Great Elder, please give me your orders. Lu Yunfan said respectfully. Lu Yunfan had a very high status in the Lu family. He was not an ordinary elder, but an elder with real power. The entire Lu family's business was controlled by him. Here are a lot of top-grade spirit elemental stones. There are also a lot of middle-grade spirit elemental stones. I want you to quickly exchange them for top-grade spirit elemental stones. Ming Han handed over his interspatial ring to Lu Yunfan. Lu Yunfan was stunned. A family's wealth was usually stored in the interspatial rings of the Great Elder and the Patriarch. Especially the Great Elder's interspatial ring. The wealth inside was at least a third of the family's wealth. There are about 30 million here. Try to exchange as many top-grade spirit elemental stones as you can. Ming Han said. 30 million, according to the ratio, could be exchanged for 30 top-grade spirit elemental stones. Great Elder, this is a large amount of top-grade spirit elemental stones. Those who have so many top-grade spirit elemental stones are usually too lazy to exchange. Those who are weak don't have the top-grade spirit elemental stones. If we look for other forces to exchange, they will increase the ratio to 110. Lu Yunfan quickly said. Why don't we delay the exchange? Although the public ratio is 100, there must be someone to exchange with. If no one is willing to exchange, then you can only suffer a loss. For example, the public price of a messaging spirit pearl was only a few 100,000. But because of the trouble it caused, most forces would not sell it. There were some sects that would sell messaging spirit pearls, but they were far away from here. But now, the price had risen to 300,000. This was the same principle. Hurry up. A little loss is nothing. The most important thing is, you must exchange them for top-grade spirit elemental stones. Great Elder Ming Han said firmly. Since the Great Elder had said so, Lu Yunfan didn't dare to say anything else. He immediately said respectfully, Yunfan will not disappoint the Great Elder. Then, he received the huge amount of wealth. Great Elder Ming Han was not worried that Lu Yunfan would run away with the money. Because, as the head of the Lu family's finances, he had to make a blood oath to the heavens to ensure his loyalty. Making a blood oath to the heavens was an extremely heavy oath. Once violated, the oath would be immediately broken. Days passed, one after another. Lu Feng City's eastern side of the city was a tranquil courtyard, the Bamboo Garden. The courtyard was gifted to Qin Yu by the Lu clan. Qin Yu, Lu Honshu, and Qin Yu all moved into the courtyard. When the Bamboo Garden was gifted, a group of maids and guards were also sent. At the same time, the Lu family gave strict orders that no one was to offend the owner of the Bamboo Garden. This caused countless people of Lu Feng City to discuss spiritedly. They were all discussing who the master of the Bamboo Garden was. Inside the Bamboo Garden, the Lu family head and Lu Ming Han were led by a maid through a pavilion corridor into a quiet bamboo forest. Then they came to a pond in the middle of the bamboo forest. At this moment, Qin Yu was sitting beside the pond, quietly fishing. Oh, a fish took the bait. Qin Yu lifts the fishing rod. A big fish about 3 jin in weight, which is alive and kicking, is brought up to the surface. Haha, Mr. Lu family head, I've been fishing for a long time but I didn't catch a fish. Don't you think it's strange? Qin Yu put the fishing rod to the side, stood up and walked to a stone bench. He smiled and said to Ming Han and Lu Ming Han, It's Mr. Qin's luck that has come. Ming Han laughed. Shu Yan and Zhong Yuan were secretly laughing. Fish took the bait. Weren't there 2 big fish in front of them? Sit. Qin Yu sat down and called out to the 2. At this moment, the maid at the side immediately served tea. The stone table was round and there were 3 stone benches around it. Qin Yu, Ming Han, and the Lu family head sat on the 3 benches. After taking a sip of tea, Qin Yu casts a glance at the two of them. He then puts down the teacup and says, "It's been 2 months since we last met, right? Since the two of you came this time, I presume you've already prepared the top-grade elemental holy rock?" "It's ready," Ming Han immediately said. Qin Yu nods and says with a sigh, "It's just that the two of you are a bit slow. Recently, this martial uncle of mine has been busy collecting top-grade elemental holy rock. According to what I learned last time, the number of top-grade elemental holy rock my martial uncle has now is not far from the number of top-grade elemental holy rock he needs to forge secret treasures. I don't know if my martial uncle has collected all of them yet, but if he has, then... Even if he has, I don't think he can do anything about it." Ming Han and the Lu family head's expression froze. They thought for a moment and understood. Their martial uncle needed top-grade elemental spirit stones to refine a secret treasure. With their martial uncle's strength, the speed at which he collected them should be very fast. "You also know that money alone can't move my martial uncle. I know that my martial uncle needs top-grade elemental spirit stones to refine a secret treasure. That's why I told the two of you to collect them. But now..." Qin Yu sighed. "Now is not the time." Ming Han asked, "Don't worry, let me ask my martial uncle." At this time, Qin Yu put on an act and directly took out the communication spirit bead. In fact, Qin Yu didn't send a message, but he still had to put on an act. Silence. The pond was so quiet that only the rustling of the bamboo trees could be heard. Ming Han and the Lu family head held their breaths and waited. They stared at Qin Yu's expression, trying to figure out what was going on between Qin Yu and his martial uncle. After a long time, "Mr. Qin, how is it? What did your martial uncle say?" The Lu family head was the first to speak. Qin Yu let out a sigh of relief. He smiled and said, "Fortunately, my martial uncle has wasted a lot of time collecting the blue ice stones. He didn't have the time to collect the top-grade elemental spirit stones. Seems there is still hope. By the way, how many top-grade elemental spirit stones did you bring?" Qin Yu asked casually. Ming Han gritted his teeth and said, 40 pieces. Qin Yu's heart was happy, but his face didn't show it. "Oh, 40 pieces. Seems there is an 80 to 90% chance. My martial uncle is very protective of me. If I go and persuade him, he should agree." Ming Han and the Lu family head felt their hearts ache. 40 top-grade elemental spirit stones. This was close to half of the Lu family's assets. These 40 pieces were urgently exchanged by Lu Yunfan. In addition to the few pieces the Lu family already had, they only had 40 pieces. "Both of you, please rest in the bamboo garden for a few hours. At this time, if I'm not wrong, my martial uncle should be resting. It's noon on the planet he's on. Generally, he is in a good mood in the evening. The success rate of discussing matters is the highest, so please wait," Qin Yu said with a smile. Of course. When the two heard that the success rate of discussing matters in the evening was the highest, how could they not agree? These 40 pieces of top-grade elemental spirit stones. Ming Han and Xu Yan were conflicted. They didn't feel at ease giving these 40 pieces of top-grade elemental spirit stones to Qin Yu. They were worried that Qin Yu would cheat them of their treasures and run away. But if they didn't, they were worried that Qin Yu would be angry. "Both of you please rest. I'm not in a hurry to give you these top-grade elemental spirit stones. When my martial uncle comes, you can hand them to him personally. From this you will know that I am not greedy," Qin Yu said with a smile. "Of course we will not doubt Mr. Qin," Ming Han and Xu Yan hurriedly said. Ming Han and Xu Yan were then persuaded by Qin Yu to rest. As for Qin Yu himself, he was just smiling as he fished. Zhang Yuan and Xu Yan were chatting and laughing with each other. When it was about time, Qin Yu pretended to take out his communication spirit pearl. Then he said to the maid, "All right, let the Lu family head and Xu Yan come." "Yes, my lord," the maid respectfully replied. In just a moment Ming Han and Xu Yan appeared. How was it? Ming Han was the first to speak. Qin Yu smiled brightly. Success. Ming Han and the Lu family head looked at each other and couldn't help but laugh. Haha, from now on, my Lu family is the #1 family in Amber Moon. Ming Han and the Lu family head suppressed their excitement. Ming Han looked at Qin Yu. Mr. Qin Yu, when will your martial uncle arrive? Qin Yu was also very happy. Martial uncle is also in the Silver Stream Galaxy. After he finished talking with me, he will directly use the transmission array to rush to Amber Moon. He will be here in half an hour. Half an hour. Ming Han and Xu Yan's smiles became even brighter. If they could kill Yan Gao, then the Yan family would be nothing. Both of you, as I said before, I will personally add 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones. These are my 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones. When the time comes, you can give them to my martial uncle along with your 40 pieces. Of course, you don't have to tell him that these 2 pieces are from me. Qin Yu smiled and handed over 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones. Ming Han and Xu Yan saw Qin Yu hand over 2 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones and didn't let them tell their martial uncle. They couldn't help but feel incredulous. They didn't expect this Mr. Qin to be so generous. No, how can this be? Ming Han hurriedly refused. Take it. If you don't take it, then you are not giving me face. Qin Yu looked like he was about to explode. Ming Han and Xu Yan had no choice but to accept. But in their hearts, they couldn't help but feel grateful to Qin Yu. Only about an hour had passed. It's about time. Qin Yu calculated in his heart. Then his heart moved. In the air above the bamboo garden, a cold-looking man wearing a long robe appeared, carrying an immortal sword. Qin Yu quickly stood up. Greetings, martial uncle. Ming Han and Xu Yan raised their heads and saw sword immortal Lan Feng. They quickly stood up and respectfully said, Junior Ming Han, Lu Yun Lu, greets senior. Martial nephew, 42 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones to kill a level 6 golden immortal sword immortal, right? Sword immortal Lan Feng said with a cold expression. Yes, Mr. Lu. Give the top-grade elemental holy stones to martial uncle. Qin Yu hurriedly looked at Ming Han. Ming Han could already feel sword immortal Lan Feng's aura. Just the aura alone was far stronger than Yan Gao's. Naturally, he was full of confidence. With a wave of his hand, 42 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones appeared out of thin air. 42 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones. Please accept them. Ming Han respectfully said. Sword immortal Lan Feng waved his sleeve and received the top-grade elemental holy stones. He indifferently said, Since I have accepted your top-grade elemental holy stones, I will kill the person you spoke of. Tell me his situation. Qin Yu's face showed a trace of joy. With 42 pieces of top-grade elemental holy stones in hand, he could use his immortal sword puppet to his heart's content for a period of time. Moreover, he was about to go to the Yen clan. That Yen clan must have a lot of top-grade elemental holy stones. Chapter 321. Senior, that Yan Gao is a level 6 golden sword immortal, the Grand Elder of Maple Moon's Yen clan. Other than Yan Gao, no one else is worth mentioning. However, there is one thing Senior should be aware of, that Yan Gao is a disciple of the Jade Sword School. Ming Han said respectfully. Jade Sword School? Lan Feng frowned. What kind of school is this Jade Sword School? Qin Yu, on the other hand, was slightly annoyed. This Ming Han did not explain clearly at the beginning, and only now did he mention it. Yes, Senior. Ming Han continued. This Jade Sword School is only a small school in the immortal realm. However, the school leader is not an ordinary person. He is a level 1 mystic sword immortal. Level 1 mystic sword immortal. Lan Feng's face turned cold. Qin Yu began to curse in his heart. A level 1 mystic sword immortal. And his sword immortal puppet was only a level 9 golden sword immortal. Although the gap between a level 9 golden immortal and a level 1 mystic immortal was only a step away, the gap was very large. Ah, Senior, don't worry, we killed Yen Gao. The school leader of the Jade Sword School won't care too much. No one will know that Senior killed Yen Gao. We can swear to the heavens. Ming Han quickly said. He could see that Lan Feng was still afraid of a level 1 mystic sword immortal. Sword immortal Lan Feng nodded and immediately said in a cold voice, "If there's anything you want to say, then you better tell me clearly. If there's anything you're hiding from me, then you better be careful that I don't destroy your Lu clan." Ming Han's body trembled. With the strength of a level 6 golden sword immortal, it would be easy for him to destroy the Lu clan. The head of the Lu clan suddenly said, "Senior, I suddenly thought of something. I once heard that the Immortal Realm's emperor you had the 18 emperors and the 36 rulers under his command. And this Jade Sword School's head seems to be one of the 36 rulers. Per you." Qin Yu's heart trembled when he heard this name. After being in the immortal devil and demon realm for so long, he finally learned of Emperor Yu's power. "Martial nephew, what is going on? Why does it involve Emperor Yu?" Lan Feng shouted at Qin Yu. Qin Yu hurriedly bowed and said, "Martial uncle, please allow me to ask clearly." Qin Yu glared coldly at Ming Han and the Lu family head. "You too, if there's anything you want to say, it's best if you speak clearly. Don't try to hide anything." Feeling Qin Yu and Lan Feng's anger, Ming Han's mind raced like lightning. He quickly said, "Both of you, Sovereign Yu is a supreme figure in the immortal realm. His subordinates are the 18 emperors and the 36 rulers, all of whom are Xian immortals. As one of the 36 sovereigns, how could the Jade Sword School's sovereign bother himself with such trivial matters? Furthermore, His Majesty Emperor, you will pay attention to the small matters here. Therefore please be at ease. Mr. Lu, I am very curious about this Emperor Yu. Can you tell me more about this Emperor Yu?" Qin Yu suddenly said. Ming Han was baffled. As long as one was an immortal, who didn't know about Emperor Yu? He even suspected that Qin Yu had been cultivating in seclusion since childhood, not caring about the outside world. But since Qin Yu asked, he answered honestly. The immortal realm has nearly 20 starfields, and there are 3 supreme figures: Sovereign Yu, Emperor Xian, and Emperor Qing. However, the combined power of these 3 is not even half of the immortal realm. Ming Han smiled and said, "There are many immortal emperors in the immortal realm, each occupying a part of their own power. Although their power is not as great as Sovereign Yu's, their combined power is greater than most of the immortal realm." Qin Yu understood. The immortal realm was very chaotic. The 3 supreme figures only controlled a small part of the immortal realm. For example, the Indigo Bay starfield is even more chaotic. The Silver Stream galaxy belongs to Sovereign Yu's power, but the other galaxies belong to other powers. There are Emperor Qing's, Emperor Xian's, other immortal emperors, and even demon emperors. In short, it's very chaotic. Qin Yu listened carefully. He was like a blind man when it came to the immortal realm. It seems that Sovereign Yu and the other 2 are the strongest in the immortal realm. Qin Yu sighed. Ming Han glared at him. "Mr. Qin, you are wrong. It seems that you are always in seclusion and don't care about the immortal realm." Yes. Qin Yu could only respond in this way. Ming Han sighed. In terms of individual power, Sovereign Yu, Emperor Xian, and Emperor Qing may be ranked at the top of the immortal realm, but they are not the strongest. In the immortal realm, there are many super experts who are too lazy to occupy large territories. There are some super experts who are not inferior to Sovereign Yu and the other 2. Qin Yu suddenly understood. Some people like to be a warlord, while others like to be free and unfettered. Sovereign Yu and the other 2 could only be considered the strongest in the struggle for power. In terms of individual power, there were some who could match the 3 of them. Thinking back, when Emperor Anai roamed the immortal realm, weren't Sovereign Yu and the others by his side? Ming Han sighed. It's a pity that Emperor Anai disappeared in recent years. Qin Yu smiled. Many people still don't know that Emperor Anyang is dead. Emperor Anyang's strength is strong, and it is said that he could suppress Sovereign Yu and the others, but he was once defeated. That battle was famous throughout the immortal, devil, and demon realms. Ming Han was a golden immortal, and also a great elder of his family. He knew a lot about the immortal, devil, and demon realms. Emperor Anyang was defeated. By who? Qin Yu was curious. Emperor Anyang was a level 8 mystic immortal, and the sword immortal with the strongest attack power. At the same time, he practiced the heaven-sundering sword arts, complemented by the divine weapon Heaven Piercer, and had the black snow divine armor for defense. Was he defeated? Yes, and the battle took place in our Indigo Bay star field. Ming Han's voice rose. Indigo Bay star field. Qin Yu's curiosity was piqued. Who could have defeated Emperor Anyang? Ming Han's face was full of pride. The one who defeated Emperor Anyang is a super expert respected by all in our Indigo Bay starfield. He stands at the pinnacle of the immortal, devil, and demon realms. People call him the Hidden Emperor. Hidden Emperor. Qin Yu heard this name for the first time. Indigo Bay starfield is a starfield bordering the immortal and devil realms. However, the immortal and devil realms do not dare to recklessly attack each other because of the existence of the Hidden Emperor. No one in the immortal or devil realms dares to disrespect the Hidden Emperor. Ming Han's voice was sonorous. Qin Yu couldn't help but feel the power of the Hidden Emperor. With the Hidden Emperor, the Indigo Bay starfield was not in chaos. However, the Hidden Emperor was too lazy to fight for power. He himself lived in his hometown, a planet rich in elemental spiritual energy, the Hidden Emperor star. The original name of this planet has long been forgotten, and now everyone calls it the Hidden Emperor star. Ming Han's face was full of worship. Qin Yu couldn't help but admire the Hidden Emperor. To be able to defeat Emperor Anyang, he must be one of the top figures in the immortal realm. Yet, he didn't covet the slightest bit of power. The Hidden Emperor star is filled with experts like clouds. The Hidden Emperor himself has a number of mystic immortal level friends, as well as some disciples. The Hidden Emperor star is just a planet, but no one dares to offend it. Ming Han sighed. The Hidden Emperor star and my Amber Moon star are both planets, but in terms of status, the difference is like heaven and earth. Qin Yu smiled. Comparing the Amber Moon star with the Hidden Emperor star? The other planet had countless immortal Emperor-level experts. How could it be compared? The Hidden Emperor star. Qin Yu's heart was filled with yearning. This was a planet filled with hidden dragons and crouching tigers. In the Hidden Emperor star, those who haven't reached the immortal Emperor level can only behave themselves. Otherwise, Ming Han smiled. Even Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, and others have paid their respects to the Hidden Emperor. I heard this news, I don't know if it's true or not. Humans generally have a sense of belonging. This Ming Han, for example, was proud that his Indigo Bay starfield was able to produce the Hidden Emperor. From his words, one could clearly feel his pride. The Hidden Emperor star, if I have the chance, I must go and see it. Qin Yu engraved this wish in his heart. Perhaps after finding his brothers and figuring out what happened to Li, he would be able to go to the Hidden Emperor star with them. In fact, whether it is Emperor Yu or the Hidden Emperor, or even the 18 emperors and 36 rulers, they are all high and mighty characters. Us golden immortals simply cannot compare to them. Ming Han laughed self-deprecatingly. Mr. Qin, do you know how many mystic immortals and golden immortals there are in the Silver Stream Galaxy? I don't know. Qin Yu shook his head. In the entire Silver Stream Galaxy, the only mystic immortal expert known to all is the Jade Sword School's sect leader, but there are tens of thousands of golden immortals. Now you can feel the difference between a golden immortal and a mystic immortal. Ming Han smiled. Qin Yu was shocked by this number. What about the celestial immortals? Qin Yu continued to ask. Celestial immortals. Ming Han was startled. Any random planet in the immortal devil and demon realms has thousands or even tens of thousands of celestial immortals. The number of celestial immortals in the immortal, devil and demon realms is simply innumerable. Qin Yu did a little calculation in his heart and also felt that this number was enormous. Senior Mr. Qin, now you can feel the high and mighty power of an immortal emperor. Killing Yen Gao, how could the Jade Sword School's sect leader care? Ming Han said with a smile. Martial nephew, you can send the guests off. This Yen Gao, I will soon take his life. Sword Immortal Lan Feng said indifferently. Yes, martial uncle. Qin Yu respectfully said, and then sent the Lu family's head and Ming Han out of the bamboo garden. Before the two left, they asked Qin Yu to do his best to settle this matter as soon as possible. After the two left, Qin Yu and Sword Immortal Lan Feng directly entered a cultivation room. Inside the cultivation room, Qin Yu sat cross-legged, while the Sword Immortal puppet stood motionless to the side. Shi Yan and Zhong Yuan stood guard outside the room. Shi Yan, Zhong Yuan, from now on, you must be careful and stand guard outside the room. If there is anything important, immediately notify me. Qin Yu directly ordered. Yes, master. Shu Yan and Zhong Yuan bowed. Qin Yu sat cross-legged. His soul fused with Lu Xing's tear and flew directly into the Sword Immortal puppet. Soul separation. In fact, when a cultivator reached the Dongshu stage, they could fuse their soul with the Yuanying and leave the body. Qin Yu's cultivation far exceeded that of the Dongshu stage, and his soul had long since solidified. Fusing with Lu Xing's tear was easy. Leaving his body, Qin Yu's soul entered the Sword Immortal puppet. Usually, he only relied on a strand of his consciousness to control the Sword Immortal puppet, but now that his soul had entered the Sword Immortal puppet, it was much easier to control, and its attacks were much more flexible. What is this Sword Immortal puppet's body made of? It's so tough, and it feels as elastic as skin. Qin Yu felt the Sword Immortal puppet's body, and could not help but sigh at his Uncle Lan's strength. Then Qin Yu's soul fused with heaven and earth, and directly used teleportation to disappear from the room. In the room, Qin Yu's body also disappeared. His body had already been stored by Qin Yu in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. The entire room was empty, but fortunately no one came in. In terms of toughness, although Qin Yu's body was strong, it was far inferior to the Sword Immortal puppet's body. The Sword Immortal puppet's toughness was comparable to a divine tool. How could it be a joke? In the night sky of Lu Feng City, a figure stood high in the sky. Immortal swords can change their length. It seems that this body can as well. With a thought, Qin Yu's body suddenly grew by 5 or 6 centimeters, and a sword scar appeared on his face. With such a strong body, its flying speed must be very fast. Qin Yu's face was full of smiles. Suddenly, the night sky of Lu Feng City trembled, and Qin Yu's body disappeared. One breath, Qin Yu appeared in the sky above Yanshan City. This was not teleportation. Instead, it was speed. The Sword Immortal puppet's body is more than 1,000 times stronger than my body, and its speed is also more than 10 times faster. Qin Yu couldn't help but sigh. Then he calmed himself down and looked down at Yanshan City. This Yanshan City clearly occupied a much larger area than Lu Feng City. This Yen clan's palace is clearly much more luxurious, and they also have a lot more subordinates. Qin Yu quickly discovered that this Yen clan was located in a huge area. A clan's unified building naturally had its own distinct characteristics. It was now night. The entire Yen clan's palace was brightly lit, and many people were already meditating in their homes. There were also some Yen clan members strolling on the streets. At the same time, there were also pairs of armored guards patrolling the area. This is bad. Qin Yu suddenly smiled bitterly. He didn't know where the level 6 golden immortal Yen Gao was. Ming Han and the others thought that Qin Yu's martial uncle's strength was far beyond that of a level 6 golden immortal. Naturally, They could use their immortal sense to find Yen Gao. But Qin Yu's sword immortal puppet soul was Qin Yu's. How could he find a level 6 golden immortal? Difficult. Alas, originally I only wanted to deal with Yen Gao, but now it seems that I'll have to involve the rest of the Yen clan. I'll just have to pick one that I don't like and capture them for questioning. Qin Yu sighed. Then, in a flash, he appeared on the streets of the Yen clan and began to leisurely stroll. Qin Yu's goal was to capture anyone from the Yen clan whose power was between level 6 and level 9 heavenly immortals. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.